The pitch to Schwarber. Swung on. Hit high and deep. Right field. Back at the wall and looking up. And that is gone. Just cleared over the railing. First row. And Kyle Schwarber with home run number 45.
How about that, sports fans? Yes, Kyle Schwarber goes yard yet again. Number 45 on the season, and what a hell of a season it has been. We'll go over a bunch of Schwarber's numbers as the Phillies had the day off. Big-time victory yesterday. Sam Oshtry joining me in studio, getting set, getting ready. Are you ready to go?
We haven't been here in a little bit.
There you go. Yeah, I'm hitting wrong buttons and everything over here. That's my fault.
It's a Thursday. We'll be back every Thursday starting now, but it's taken a couple weeks off in the summer, at least myself, and now we're back ready to go every Thursday.
Road tripping.
I sure was.
Down to Tennessee.
I took over the great state of Tennessee.
Tell the people what you did.
I flew into Atlanta. My buddy picked me up from Atlanta. He was road tripping all the way down south.
All right.
We drove up to Tennessee. We hit Chattanooga. We hit Gatlinburg, Knoxville. We spent some time in Knoxville. Go Vols.
Hell yeah.
Saw some Tennessee fans outside the basketball stadium, the football stadium. Awesome town, Knoxville, Tennessee. Great college town. We really just drove through there, but it was a great college town. Then I said we went to Gatlinburg, and then we finished up in Nashville. So all the spots in Tennessee we hit, really all East Tennessee. But Nashville, of course, was the big destination. Great trip, great state too. I saw, played some golf, went skeet shooting, did some hikes.
That's what I was getting at.
And then I wasn't the greatest at it.
No, it's not that easy either.
It was fun though.
Yeah,
it's pretty exhilarating when you pull that trigger.
Skeet shooting. I hear. Yeah, skeet shooting is fun. Yeah, I've done it 2 times myself, and I wasn't exactly the best marksman out there, but a lot of fun to say the least. And that's what happens when you live with some red fellas down there in North Carolina, as I did for a few years. A lot of fun. But I'm glad to have you back. As you said, we got a big week here. Of course, it is an official football week. Football back in our system, back in our blood, back on our timelines. And man, with what's taking place in this country, we need football more than ever at this point in time.
That's for sure.
I mean, jeez.
That's for sure.
You turn on the timeline, you don't know what you're going to see. You don't know what's up, what's down, left, right, what's real, what's not. And that's the reality.
It's so crazy that I don't even know what you're referring to exactly.
It's true. It's just everything.
Because it really is everything.
AI is crazy. And I thought AI would be even beyond where we're at right now. You know, you're watching, all of a sudden you're like, is that a real girl? That's a real girl.
That's every video. Yeah. Every video is like, you got to question, is that real? Is that fake? Every tweet.
I go in saying that everything is fake.
Fake, yeah. That's the right attitude. You should approach it with that type of skepticism. I mean, most things aren't real online these days.
How do we get here? Who knows? We do have a lot of football conversation coming your way. Julian EDLOW from DRAFTKINGS Sportsbook at 3:30 in his normal spot. Just listen to his podcast with Phil Steele on the way in, so can't wait. Julian created his own brand new podcast. It's his baby, going out all things DraftKings. It's available iHeart, Spotify, you name it, wherever you get your podcast at. Julian is putting out a daily podcast with the folks of DK. A real good listen to catch you up, and it's going to be even better when we actually have sports to discuss. But again, they're going over everything that you need to hit on before the season starts. Your expectations, your projections, predictions that are sure to go wrong, all of the above. So Julian's going to give us a little more of that, but we'll dive deeper into week 0. NATALIE EGENOLF's going to join us in studio. Of course, we'll talk some Phillies and some Eagles. I do want to bring up the fact that she is out and about today at Yards, I want to say. We'll get more of that coming up at 4 o'clock. Her and Taryn Hatcher are hanging today. How about that, sports fans? That's a little dynamic duo for you right there. Get on down to Yards. What are you smiling at? You can give me a comment.
No, I was just saying that's awesome. Yards is a great spot. We've been to Yards.
Yes.
We've had some events at Yards. Yes. So anytime you can get over to Yards, Yards is the place to be.
I agree. Hang out
on Spring Garden, right?
Come on. And it's a Phillies deal. It's something. We'll get more details. She's going to join us at 4:05. I'm not going to butcher it because it is something of the benefit nature, if I'm not mistaken. So like charity-esque, I believe. So again, we will have NATALIE in studio on Thursdays and a lot more hopefully coming up soon with the season fast approaching. Speaking of the season fast approaching, Ryan Beef Coyle, you're getting a double dose of beef. That's always a good thing, except maybe for the ladies out there. Hey now. Hey now. See, this is a bad job by me. I was on the wrong folder there. And if I was on the right folder, I could have just hit this and went like that. My Lord. And that would have worked out much better. Anyways, Beef's going to join us at 4:35. You know, I got some big questions for Beef as far as week 0 is concerned. Yeah, everybody's focusing on Kansas State, Iowa State, Farmageddon, and there's a reason why. 2 top 25 teams, a little bit more known about these 2 squads, a little bit, definitely from the quarterback perspective. And of course, it's taking place in Ireland, a lot more hype around this game on ESPN. But there are some big time misses, some players that are going to be that have been already ruled out, especially from Kansas State's perspective. And oh, by the way, last time I checked, Kansas State was a 3-point favorite. Has that moved at all right now? Bad job by me as we got in here just now. No, did not move. But I would be straight up looking at Beef's timeline last night when those inactive lists came out. When the inactive list came out, he referenced 2 players, 1 tight end that was supposed to have a pretty big season for Kansas State. So unavailable for the opener. We'll find out what he feels like, if that's going to be a detriment at any cost for Kansas State. And of course, we'll dive deeper into the game, the total 50.5, all of that and more. Plus, with week 0, Sam, I feel like that's all the focus. No. There's 4 other games. There's 5 total. We need to dive in to find out what players are going to be having a significant impact on Saturday, who we're going to learn a little bit more about on Saturday. And, oh, by the way, give us a play in that Stanford-Hawaii game, because that's the late night.
Yep.
And everybody.
I have something I like in that to tease it a little bit.
Look at you. Look at you. Sammy football over here.
Maybe a little Cardinal action.
So when you were you're going with the dog.
I am.
All right. So and Beef's going to give us one dog that's biting in a big way. Week 0 action. That's coming up. Jam-packed show. Let's go. Now, when you were driving around Tennessee, did you pull over when the NBA schedule came out and we're like, yo, that's a win. That's a win. That's a win.
Well, I saw the Sixers lead the league in back-to-backs again.
Oh, you go right to
like
it.
That.
You go right to it. There's
NBA just loves to do that to the Sixers.
There's 4 other teams with 16 back-to-backs. Do they have something on the other 4 teams as well? Or
but
just
there's certain teams that you could give some relief to that are going to be resting players for back-to-backs.
You could give relief to you should take that into account making the schedule.
I would. And that's not like a biased perspective.
Okay.
You want your stars playing as much as possible.
It's entertainment.
You want your stars playing as much as possible. So why not?
Yeah, but they're not really playing, though. That's the issue.
Okay, but they'll play more games. They'll have a better chance of playing more games, less back-to-backs. Like Embiid's not going to play a back-to-back ever this season. So that means he's going to play 16. There's 16 games that are already guaranteed he's not playing. The NBA should want him to play as much as possible.
But that's the positive outlook, positive spin on that, is the fact that there's at least 16 games that Joel Embiid will not play in.
Positive spin for who?
For Joel Embiid and the Sixers.
Who's that? Is that positive? You need him on the floor. Like you can rest him all you want. You need him on the floor.
This is my approach for the upcoming season.
You need him on the floor to win games, and you need him on the floor to build chemistry with these new guys.
This is how defeated I am already.
You know I'm in studio when we're 10 minutes in it to an August show, and we're talking the NBA. There is nothing going on in the NBA world right now.
You're right.
And somehow we hit on the NBA.
Actually, CBS Sports came out with a top 25 list since 2000.
I didn't even look at that.
Yeah, a little bit of controversy. We can get into that.
I was getting killed for my list the other day when I did the redraft.
Yeah, so break that one down for the people.
So I did a redraft. You can call it a redraft, but it's selecting the best pick at every single slot in NBA history, 1 through 60. So like Michael Jordan was the best 3rd overall pick. LeBron James was the best 1st overall pick. I went with Kevin Durant over Bill Russell, and a lot of people, including our Roy Burton, were not happy with that pick. But I got KD as an all-time better player than Bill Russell. I don't care about the rings. Guys, I went Rudy Gobert over Dennis Rodman.
There's a lot of old heads rolling over in their grave right now.
There are.
It's tough. We can't compare eras.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Russell played in the 1960s against guys who were half his size. There were some great Hall of Famers there, but it's not the competition Kevin Durant is against now.
Yeah.
And then I went Rudy Gobert over Dennis Rodman. People were not happy with. I went Klay Thompson over Reggie Miller. So I took a lot of flack, some DMs, some comments. People were not happy with me. Calling for my job, in fact.
Oh, come on. These people are crazy these days.
Commenters love to just comment.
If you don't get hate, I don't know how, like, that's just impossible.
Engagement is engagement.
Yeah, these days it's just impossible. Did you see that DM that pitcher got from the Seattle Mariners?
Yes,
I think it was a pitcher.
Yeah, it was.
Good grief. And then apparently he DM'd his wife,
yeah,
too.
That's why he was so upset about it, is because he DM'd his wife. Like, people are crazy.
Yeah, people are out
like, you would never say this stuff to anybody's face.
Never, not once.
Everyone feels like they're entitled to say whatever they want because they're behind a screen.
We've been saying that for years now, but nothing's ever going to change. And I don't know how you change it. But with that being said, try and be a better person. That's all. All right, we do have 2 preseason football games. Have you dabbled in the world of preseason football?
A little bit. I'm really anti preseason. I don't understand why starters played. And we talked about this the other day, even with the Bengals, who of course played their starters the whole first quarter against the Eagles, and then also played their starters in their second preseason game, which is just crazy to me. You're gonna give them 1 game, fine. But I love how the Eagles approach it, where you don't play your starters in the preseason, you don't play your best players in the preseason, especially offensively. It's just dumb. Like, there's literally no point of it. Especially, obviously, the Eagles played more football than anyone last year because they went all the way to Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But the Bengals and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and all those guys don't need reps together. They've played together for years now. That's what training camp's for, to get refamiliarize yourself with each other. Yeah. You don't play in the preseasons. I don't understand why teams would ever put their guys at risk for that. So I don't love watching it because most teams don't really take that approach. But it's interesting for the rookies, like the Browns situation, Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders. I like watching that. There's a couple good storylines out of it, but I'm typically an anti-preseason guy.
Yeah, look, the Giants are in action tonight, so you know where I'm going with that. Yep. But like to your point, the Eagles ended up losing Johnny Wilson for the season. Season-ending surgery after suffering injuries in Tuesday's practice. That was just practice, don't get me wrong, but anything can happen. So less is more, in my opinion, when it comes to preseason. Like, hey, look, it's a different day and age. It used to be 4 preseason games. You used to play a ton in preseason game 3, a little bit in 2, and none in 4 or 1 for the most part. And then you go into the season. But some teams have a different approach. You brought up Joe Burrow and Cincinnati Bengals. I appreciated it. I respected it. We did the show down in Ocean City on Tuesday for Villanova, and I said, I think you saw all you needed to see against the Eagles. Yeah. Going back to that I thought you were really tempting fate with the football gods. And if you don't believe in that stuff, that's fine. I kind of think that, you got your answer. You guys look great in that first drive. Heck, 2 drives, if I'm not mistaken. Don't need to go back and get Joe Burrow out there. And the next thing he's running around and he's just doing things that, like, a preseason football game, the only reason why he's doing is because he's playing an exhibition game. Yeah. He even said it. So there's nothing to gain from that manner. And you got to be really selective, really careful. And it's unfortunate about the Eagles, but that's really the only injury that's happened so far, knock on wood, with camp wrapping up. We'll talk about some Eagles a little bit later in the show with Natalie, but I do want to open up with Jackson Dart and the New York Giants and bring it to the division because, as we sit here, Sam, with the Eagles, it's real easy for us to sit here and say today that the Eagles are going to be as dominant as they were last year. They're going to win probably around the same amount as regular season games. You're not going to be able to stop them. You're going to have even more a ticked off Jalen Hurts and that offense and all the doubters out there when they were one of the greatest Super Bowl teams of all time.
Absolutely.
Last night I watched The Kingdom, the Chiefs documentary that's on ESPN.
That over the Dallas documentary? I feel like the Dallas documentary, that's what everyone's talking about.
I haven't watched the Dallas documentary. They haven't done much for me to really care about in years.
That's what everyone's talking about.
Jerry is big drama.
I'm not planning on watching it.
Yeah, I could pass on the whole Dallas deal. I think I've relived a lot of those memories. I was alive for those days. They were dominant. They were a really good football team in the 90s, but it's been a long damn time since the Dallas Cowboys have been worth my time to tune into something extra other than them playing on Sundays. With that being said, The Kingdom is a 6-part series on ESPN talking about, the rise of the Kansas City Chiefs, a little history, more so about Andy Reid since he came on, the success that they've had. And then last night they rolled out the episode of the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's the one I want to catch. Yeah. Was that the finale?
I think that was episode 6. Yeah. And it was great.
Yeah,
it was even better because you're getting the Super Bowl victory from a losing perspective, and they didn't know what hit them.
Yep.
They had no idea what hit them, and it was clearly that they were the Eagles were the much better team. We know that with the box score, but even going into it, I felt like they were going to roll the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of us felt the same way, and it took part exactly how it played out.
That's interesting because we've seen all the sideline clips and all the post-game stuff, all the behind-the-scene access, like literally every behind-the-scene access clip that you could possibly see from that Super Bowl. We've seen it from the Eagles' perspective. I haven't seen anything from the Chiefs' perspective. So were there good behind-the-scenes stuff of like Mahomes and Kelsey talking?
They were shocked.
Like on the sideline and everything?
There wasn't enough time for them to do anything other than like, what's the scorpion? The hands on the head. What the hell is it?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on.
I have no idea what you're talking about. The scorpion, hands on the head.
It's the pose that when like it's a college football game and you got something that happened in the final seconds.
Oh, and he's like shocked.
Yeah, and the hands are like this. Yeah. It's got a name for it.
I didn't know there's a name, but yeah, I know what memes you're talking about.
Oh, come on, Sam.
It's like when you're shocked out of your mind. Like, how did that just happen? How do we just get upset? Like the Auburn Alabama Bowl. I think there's like a picture of that.
Damn it, I can't find it. Somebody tell me what they call that. The something. You're younger than me. You should know this. This isn't a me thing. This is a you thing. Anyways, so the point is like there was not enough time for them to do anything other than like what is happening right now. Mahomes threw 2 interceptions in the first half. Did he throw 3? 2. I think he threw 2. Yeah, threw 2. Zach Bond and of course Coop on his birthday. Happy birthday. And the game was over at half, and they felt that they knew it. They were trying the Patriot deal. Hey, the Patriots did it. Reed, the safety for Kansas City, was saying something along the lines of like, oh, they're going to be talking about us forever when we come back. No, didn't happen. They had no answer. They couldn't stop the defensive line, and that was all she wrote. So, and Mahomes was off. They were trying to force it, and the Eagles were the much better team. But with that being said, I want to believe that things are going to be as easy as we can make it out to be, but it's not how the NFL works. Could the Eagles be as dominant? Absolutely. I still feel like the way that the odds makers are so good at their craft with spreads, with, and I know that has nothing to do with final scores to a point, right? Like, the point differential is what it is, the point spread. Yeah. But all in all, I still feel like this team could have a slip up somewhere on the schedule. It is a tough schedule for my money. So there has to be a team in this division that will make life somewhat difficult, right? Like going into every season, we always said, well, the Eagles will split with the Cowboys and they'll split with the Giants. That was years ago. It hasn't been a long time. Are we saying that now? Are we saying that the Eagles are going to split with the Cowboys? Yes or no on that? I don't think so.
I don't think so because it's such a weird schedule with the Cowboys this year. Like the Eagles and Cowboys do not open the season. That just doesn't happen. I don't know when the last time. I don't know if it's ever happened.
You're not in any worry whatsoever the Eagles losing that game?
Oh, absolutely not.
7-point spread?
Michael Parsons probably not playing. Eagles are raising the Super Bowl banner.
He's got to play.
I don't think he's going to play. He's an Eagles fan. He'll probably be rooting for the Eagles from the sideline. I don't think he's going to play. That's not going to be resolved in 2 weeks. We're coming up with 2 weeks from today, actually, that game is. So I don't think that's going to be resolved in 2 weeks.
True.
There's no signs of that. The Eagles are just a better football team in their home crowd when that place is going to be unbelievable. I mean, it's going to be an NFC championship type atmosphere to raise a banner against your rival. That's just special scheduling by the NFL and everybody involved. So I think that's the win for the Eagles, no doubt. It's such a weird schedule this year where I don't even know when they play them later in the year, but it really depends on, like, are there someone coming off a bye? Like who's hitting their stride at that point? So I could easily see the Eagles go getting 2 over the Cowboys. It's not like an automatic split. If you're talking about an automatic split, I would say it's more Washington.
The Commanders.
And that's what they did last year. And Eagles probably would have won that second game if Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt. But still, it ended up being a split last year in a dominant season for the Eagles against the Commanders. So I would look at Washington and be like, that's an automatic split for the Eagles. Giants and Cowboys, I'm looking at it like the Eagles will be favored in both those games against both those teams. So I could easily see a scenario where the Eagles go 4-0 against those two teams and go 5-1 in this division.
Giants are 6.5-point favorites tonight against the Patriots. A lot of love for the Giants. They've looked really good in exhibition and preseason football, led by Jackson Dart, who's playing really well. First-round draft pick late in his first round, I think 23, 24, whatever it was. And it looks like he could be a pretty good player at that position, albeit being preseason. That's all I'm saying. So it does bring a little bit of an interest to tonight's game from the preseason perspective, again, with the division. And I'm just asking the people right now, where are we at when we start describing the NFC East? Is this a one-horse race? Is this completely one-sided and the Eagles are going to dominate yet again? Or do you think that the Commanders could actually make a trip up I-95 and win a football game at the Link? Do you think that the Giants could potentially sneak one from the Eagles? And it all boils down to the schedule as well. You know, to close up shop this year, the Eagles will be playing the Commanders at home. If that game means nothing, so be it.
Well, they also play them 2 other final 3 games.
That is true.
Yeah.
Good, 5 days before Christmas, not on Christmas. So they play the Commanders.
Bills, Commanders.
That's
Bills,
a tough Commanders, correct.
Finish to the season with 2 divisional opponents, and of course the Bills are a Super Bowl contender. So it really depends if those games matter.
There could be a shot at the end of the season, mark the tape, that the Commanders take both games against the Eagles. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because if that game doesn't mean anything at the end of the season.
Yeah, but now I feel like it means so much more because there's the one bye. So like every game, like the Eagles game season came down to the very last game last year, where they had to lock it up. I believe that 1 seed, if I'm correct. So
nobody played though.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it didn't come down. Yeah, because they sat Saquon for the record. I'm sorry.
They sat everybody the 2 games in a row.
It came down. Whatever, came down late in the season. But the point is that with the 1 seed now. Take that back.
Yeah,
with the 1 seed now, though, it comes down so much later in the season because there's only 1 bye. Like a few years ago, there was 2 byes, so it's like everyone wanted that bye.
Yeah.
Now there's only 1 bye, so it's really important to grasp that bye. So maybe it'll matter. I'm not sure exactly. I think the Commanders are going to take more of a step back than everyone else believes. But of course, the Commanders in the divisional matchup, it's going to be an electric atmosphere, and it's going to be a really big game for both those teams.
Yeah, I just think like the way we're looking at this schedule. And I think a lot of us are making it out a little bit easier than what it's going to be. Again, opening up the season against the Cowboys, I'll give them a victory in that. I don't see them losing that game. 7-point spread, different conversation. But still, I think the Eagles are going to run the football down their throats, especially if Parsons isn't there, whatever. The Chiefs are going to be ready to go. The Chiefs are going to want payback from last year. It's a 425 kick on September 14th. That's going to be
I'd almost chalk that in as a Chiefs W.
That's a knockdown, drag them out type of ball game. And if the Eagles aren't ready, they've won on the road there before in the regular season a couple years ago. So it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Right before their collapse, too.
How about that?
Yeah.
Then they have the Rams at home, which is a big one. Bucks, Broncos, a lot of potential with those 3 teams. You think the Rams could potentially win the division out in the West. The Bucks, I think, are favored to win the South. The Broncos, there's a lot of hype about Bo Nix with Sean Payton, again, year 2. So we'll see. I don't think that this schedule is as easy as people are making it.
It's really challenging. Yeah. I think it's really challenging when you go past that Chiefs, Rams, Bucks, Broncos stretch. I mean, there's a chance they split and go 2-2 in those 4 games. Those next 3 games are going to be really important when you have the Giants, Vikings, Giants. That has to be 3-0. And of course, it's a divisional rival with the Giants. So Jackson Dart probably, if I would guess, will be the starting quarterback in 1 or if not both of those games at that point. But that has to be a 3-0 stretch for the Eagles because you're coming off that against the Packers, Lions, Cowboys, and Bears and Chargers. I mean, there's no easy wins on the schedule until you get to like the Raiders later in the season. This is a really difficult schedule. They're not just going to swipe off 14 wins like it's cake.
I agree with that. Get involved in the conversation at Fox PHL Gambler. Your outlook for the division. I bring it up because the Giants are in action tonight, and I think they have something with Jackson Dart. I do. I think the kid is, it's not crazy to believe that he could play quarterback at the professional level. Now, is he going to make it as easy as he's made it look so far? Probably not, because it's been very vanilla as far as defense he's gone up against, bad defenses as well. And they took a lot, it feels like, from Ole Miss's packages, brought it to the Meadowlands, and he is running, just a great offense with it. Quick, easy, get the ball out, dump off short. And again, it's easy for me to sit here and say that's easy, but he's making it happen. Plenty of rookie quarterbacks have struggled in preseason. He looks pretty damn good. So does Russell Wilson. So does that defensive line. Abdul Carter looks like he's no joke. light-footed, just in the backfield, living back there. So a lot of people are starting to make the buzz for the Giants seem real. I am not there yet, and I don't think anything's going to change my mind tonight. Show it to me in the regular season. We'll see what happens. But for future, down the road, Jackson Dart is something to keep our eyes on.
I think Jackson Dart could be a really good quarterback. And I think they're taking the right approach with him, where you should start him on the bench earlier this season, to start the season. But he's looked good in the preseason. I mean, he's 26 for 35 for 291 yards, 2 touchdowns, not a single interception in preseason. And I don't really think preseason matters all that much, as we've talked about. But you have seen guys come onto the scene in preseason. Like Dak Prescott's start was in preseason. And that's when you're like, oh, this guy, this quarterback that the Cowboys picked, he could be a really good quarterback. And that noise and that buzz started in preseason when he looked really good. And then, of course, he replaced Tony Romo and became the franchise quarterback. You're seeing something similar. I'm not saying he's going to go on that type of trajectory, Jackson Dart, but you're seeing something similar where he looks good in preseason, even if it's, of course, against mostly 2s and 3s that he's playing against on defense. But I think that he's really... I think he's going to be a really good quarterback in the NFL for a long time, but they're taking the right approach by starting Russell Wilson and then saving him for a little bit.
So you think after it's all said and done that there will be teams that passed on him that made a mistake?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Jackson Dart's a really good quarterback. Wow. I liked him out of the draft, and I loved how much Brian Daboll loved him. It wasn't just like he needed a quarterback to save his job. I really think Brian Daboll really liked the guy. And whatever you think about Brian Daboll he
liked Jaden Daniels
coach,
too.
Yeah, he did. He certainly did. Whatever you think about him as a head coach, I think he's a really good quarterback evaluator and a really good offensive mind. So if he's really like, I like this guy, this is my guy, Jackson Dart, and wanted him to go out and get him, I like that. I think if someone has confidence in him like that, as long as Brian Daboll sticks around with him, I think Jackson Dart is going to develop into a nice quarterback.
He made Daniel Jones a playoff quarterback. Okay, that's all I got to say about Brian Daboll. And it's not to say that I'm a Brian Daboll fan, but I think he's proven his worth over the years in this league, of course, with Buffalo and what he's done already with the Giants for, not that much success. But at the end of the day, look who the quarterback was. He didn't give Daniel Jones that contract. So it starts.
He's received way too much criticism, Brian Daboll. I think he's a really good coach, and I think it would be a mistake to fire him. I think the only way he saves his job is he has to show that he has developed Jackson Dart throughout the year. He has to show, number one, that he has a franchise quarterback, a potential franchise quarterback, with the draft, and it's both Brian Daboll and, of course, the GM who are on the hot seat. But he also has to show throughout the year that he's developed Jackson Dart. It's like, okay, I can win with this guy. He's shown flashes. They don't have to win 7, 8, 9 games, but he has to show that he can develop the quarterback position, and this is a guy that you can win with.
All right, Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook. We'll continue the conversation. We'll take a deeper dive as far as the NFC East is concerned with Julian. We'll talk also about survivor pool plays in week 1 for the NFL. I know that's coming up for a lot of people out there. Who are you going with? Who should we be viewing? Should we be saving a team? Julian's going to answer that question. Also on this, I want to ask Julian, we don't venture into the world of baseball with Julian, but what, if anything, Kyle Schwarber can do over these next 5 weeks to win the NL MVP. I know it's not going to happen. If Shohei gets hurt tonight, does it open it up? Is this Shohei's award? He's going to give us the perspective from the book. He does this daily. Can't wait to hear his thoughts on that. We don't really ever venture into the world of baseball, but this kind of, transcends baseball from the standpoint of odds makers and the price itself. I think Shohei right now, if you don't know the number and how lopsided it is, I'll give you those odds on the other side. If you think Kyle Schwarber has a chance to win this MVP, I really, there's nothing he could do. Schwarber can hit 70 home runs, and I still don't think he's going to win the award. I mean that sincerely, just because of what the price is right here, right now on Shohei. Don't take my word for it. Julian Edlow joins us on the other side from DraftKings. More Daily Ticket after this.
From Tuscaloosa to the Big House, Saturdays start here.
Howard flips it. Smith's got it, and the freshman just launches in as the Buckeyes score.
Your home for all things college football coverage. It's The Gambler.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is back in Vegas.
T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live only on Hulu. A weekend full of superstar performances. And keep listening for the next chance to win your way there.
Lenovo and the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Tech that hits different. Can your gear keep up with the beat? Lenovo PCs are built for creators, dreamers, and fans who don't hit pause. Visit Lenovo.com for the latest in AI PCs and game-changing tech.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
So going on the Waltham into New Jersey and 42 south off the bridge down to Creek Road. Westbound Schuylkill Jam Fair to Girard and Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound stop go Montgomery Drive to south. 95 northbound back to Girard to Bridge. Laura Totella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay. Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at the prices you'll love. eBay. Things people love.
This Sunday, iHeart presents the Big Three Championship between the Miami 305 and the Chicago Triplets in the most physical, fierce, and competitive basketball league in the world. This epic fight for the Big Three Championship title pits two-time MVP Michael Beasley and Big Three Fourth Man of the Year Lance Stevenson against trash-talking Rookie of the Year Montrezl Harrell. In their regular season meeting, Montrezl exploded for 28 points and dominated for the Chicago win. Can Beasley and crew win the rematch and triumph when it counts the most? The action starts with the Big Three's 8th annual All-Star Game, featuring Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, Jordan Crawford, Jonathan Simmons, Glenn Rice Jr., Frank Nitti, Earl Clark, Deshaun Stevens, Corey Brewer, and more. No phoning it in the Big Three. This is an all-star game where the stars show up to battle. The 2025 Big Three Championship and annual All-Star Game. The no-holds-barred action starts Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific on CBS.
Yay!
Looking for sun protection that actually works and feels great? Wear SPF by PGA Pro Justin Thomas has you covered, both on and off the course. Dermatologist tested and sweat resistant. It's broad spectrum SPF that won't mess up your swing or your skin. From the first tee to everyday life, Wear SPF is a high-performance skincare collection that helps you protect yourself like the pros. It's par for the course. Shop now at wearspf.com and stay sun safe all year long. That's wearspf.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Mira, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You took the elevator to the 48th floor and handed him the briefing. Your fingertips touched, sending a shockwave of desire through the air. The room pulsed with a silent craving as he drew you in with his smoldering gaze before uttering the words your body ached to hear.
The next train on track 2 is delayed.
And all the while, you were on your commute home. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover romance titles on Audible.
You know what this is? Here's Sean Brace on the Daily Ticket. Daily Ticket on Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
Let's go.
Football is in the air, Sam Oshtry. I mean,
Sure is.
it's 70 degrees outside. The wind was blowing.
Yeah, today is a football weather day.
And now it's not going to be like that for the next 6-7 days.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about that.
Yeah. Let's get back to the heat. Come on, man. This summer, stay with me. Don't go away just yet. But it is exciting. Week 0 here. We've been talking about this weekend, the 5 matchups with our next guest for the past couple of weeks. Everything has been podcasted. Matter of fact, I've been running a few of his answers over the last week or so, breaking down Farmageddon and a little bit more in the Hawaii game as well, which Julian has had a play on for quite some time. We'll find out if he's added anything. And of course, we're all excited to have Julian on the Daily Tick in his regular spot Thursday at 3:30 throughout the course of football season. But here's the deal, folks. If you're looking for a little more Julian Edlow in your life, and at the end of the day, who isn't? Come on now. He's got a brand new daily podcast that you can get wherever you get your podcast at. He teamed up, of course, with his friends, his employer over there at DraftKings Sportsbook, and he is presenting DKN Daily Bets. It's real simple and easy to find wherever you get your podcast at. You're going to get great guests breaking down all of the day's topics and, of course, a focus on all things sports gambling with the spreads and, of course, giving you the edges you need. A great conversation with the legendary Phil Steele. I caught that episode. Julian Edlow joins us right now on the Gambler Hotline. Julian, how we doing today, man?
We're doing great. Not much I can add to that. Appreciate the plug. DKN Daily Bets. We're 4 episodes in. We had Phil Steele this week. That went over very well. We had Johnny Avello on today to talk a little look behind the book on college football. We got Doug Kazarian coming on tomorrow. So it's been a pretty solid first week. All places you can find podcasts, Spotify, Apple, wherever. And I tweet them out every day.
All right. Are you buying Phil Steele's love for Oklahoma?
I am, because I thought 6.5 was really short on them. It was juicy. I bet it at like -170. Now I think we're in the 200 range, and it's 7.5 with plus money to the over. It's one of those teams that's in like the Florida situation of they're going to be a lot better, but they have such a hard schedule, and they do have a hard schedule. But I think some of these swing games, like they go to Tennessee. I'm down on Tennessee. I think Oklahoma should get that game. Huge one. Out of the gates, I'll say in week 2, the week 2 Saturday night game, I'm going to be all about. Oklahoma hosts Michigan. Michigan plays nobody week 1. Then you're going to go on the road with a freshman quarterback with everything surrounding that program. I don't think they improved, but Michigan's not back. Like they were pretty bad last year, ended with momentum in the Ohio State and Alabama win, but I'm not buying Michigan being all the way back. And you got a freshman quarterback going on the road to Oklahoma on a Saturday night. They host Auburn. Like there's some swing games that I think I'm excited to bet Oklahoma in. Oklahoma's -135 money line versus Michigan week 2. I'm ready to bet that. John Mateer made some questionable Venmo transactions, but that is being looked into. As long as that stays clean, I like Oklahoma quite a bit this year.
Yeah, who doesn't have their Venmo transactions private? That's always very suspect. But I felt like the kid caught.
And of course, I'm always labeling my Venmo transactions sports gambling.
Yeah. I always do.
I actually believe him more because he did that. That's something you do with your friends when you're like someone buys you food and then you label like drugs or something.
Kind of dicey. I
don't think. See, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt because I don't think anybody in the world is that stupid. And maybe I'm just naive by saying that, but I don't think anybody's that stupid where if you're really sports gambling, you're going to label it sports gambling.
And when I was young, I was very dumb. But
that dumb though?
Yeah. And I think the one was around like a kickoff though. That was intriguing from the timing perspective. But all in all, they did their due diligence and they say there's nothing there. Correct, Julian? So there's nothing there. Am I all right on that one?
Is that done?
Oh, it's not done. Okay.
My
bad.
But he emphatically declines any wrongdoing. The NCAA is going to have to prove wrongdoing. I'm gonna stay on Oklahoma until I hear otherwise. Put it that way. If John Mateer is suspended or something, no need to come ask me what you should do. I'll be buying off quickly.
Understood. Any other gems from that episode or any of your episodes this week that you care to share with our listening audience right now in the world of college football, whether it's week 0, week 1, futures, anything else, Jim, that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I'll stick both with Phil Steele. First for week 0, I asked him, do you like anything week 0? And he said, I kind of like Kansas. And that game has come down. Fresno's been taking the money on DK. It's come down from 14 to 12.5. In talking to a lot of people, a lot of other trusted bettors, their power rankings have this game 16 or so. So if I bet something that is not Hawaii, and I've come on week after week and said I'm on Hawaii week 0, that is bet number 1 for me that I will be rooting for on week 0. But I think I'm coming around on making a smaller play, not even a full unit, half unit or whatever, on Kansas laying the 12.5 at home against Fresno. Jalen Daniels has been good when healthy. He was just hurt last year, and I like the coach for Kansas, Leopold. So I think Kansas at 12.5 is worth a play. And then I think, this is just judging off Phil, because Phil's, a notable, very notable name in the industry. I don't want to pin him down and like you pin me down and say, give me your best bet, EDLOW. I'm not going to pin Phil Steele down and be like, are you betting this? What's your best bet? Like, I don't do that to him. So I just kind of gauge off of his responses of like what he seems strongest on. And what caught me is when we went over West Virginia who he has dead last in the Big 12. The Big 12 is going to be mayhem this year. That's not a conference I'm betting a winner in because I think it could be so many teams. But when I mentioned to him that the West Virginia win total was 5.5, he was like, really? 5.5? They have to win 6 games on that schedule? So that seemed to be the thing that jumped out the most in our conversation, where he, a light went off in his head there, and he was pretty surprised by the price, -140, I think it is, on under 5.5 for West Virginia. He seemed to feel pretty confident that West Virginia is not going to win 6 or more games. So that's the one, the main takeaway that I took from him, or not main takeaway, because he said a lot of good things. But the one, bet that I took away from him where he seemed extremely interested would be the West Virginia under 5.5 wins.
Tell you what, with college football here, of course, front and center for us starting on Saturday afternoon. It's a great listen, 32 minutes long. Go ahead and press play. You can give Julian a follow on all things socials, Julian EDLOW, EDLOW. That's where you can find it, and it's a daily podcast, so make it a part of your daily commute. With that being said, let's stay in the world of college football in that opener, and just a jab at Farmageddon. What are you thinking here? What are you hearing? What are you reading? Is there anything making you want to play this at all? It's the first game of the college football season, Julian, and you're like, I'm waiting for Hawaii and Stanford. Really?
I'm so responsible. I'm being as responsible as I can.
Good for you.
And then that game's going to kick off. I'm going to be sitting on my hands with a cold sweat dripping down my forehead. Like, I have no bet on it right now. And when it got to 4, Iowa State catching 4, I saw some people start to take it. I was like, maybe I'll look into Iowa State +4. I look up, it's 3. I'm like, all right. Then I got all these people telling me they like K-State -3. I've heard a lot of opinions on this game. I wouldn't say I'm as polished on all these teams atop the Big 12 because I think the league is so open. I don't know as much about these teams. I think it could go so many different ways. So my plan at the moment is to sit the opener off, be on the sidelines. Maybe there'll be a live play that I like or something, but I don't have much of an opinion in that game or on those two teams this season. If you make me pick the Big 12, a team I've been a fan of over the years is Utah. I like Kyle Whittingham. I think the defense is going to be nasty. The offensive line is going to be as good as it gets. And they didn't have an offense last year. And now they fill the skill positions out, bring a quarterback in Derek Dampier and his offensive coordinator from New Mexico. Like, they should be much improved. So Utah's a team I'm high on in the Big 12, but I got nothing in that first game.
Yeah, apparently there's some decent names on the inactive list that came out yesterday that have been ruled out. The tight end for Kansas State and an edge rusher. Our own Ryan Beef Coyle is dialed in. His own roommate's a diehard Iowa State fan, so they've been going back and forth. So he had a take on it. So it's interesting. He's going to be coming up a little bit later, but just for the people out there, the tight end Lincoln cure. He was the number one tight end this past year, according to a lot of recruiting services. He has been ruled out. Actually, the first 5-star recruit in K-State history. He was supposed to be a major target, for Avery from day one. And according to Andy Staples yesterday with the initial report, it seems like he is officially out. So that is definitely something intriguing there. But this is a 3-point spread. I could see it going either way. Got to have some action, got to have some play. I think I'm taking the favorite. Going to roll with Kansas State in this one. But really excited because football is here. It's in the air right now, Julian. And if you would not mind, we've been talking a lot of college with you over the weeks. Let's go ahead and get on over to the pros, though, the NFL. I want to get your thoughts as far as the division is concerned. But you know where I'm going with week 1. Everybody right now starting to get a little nervous because it's survivor pool time. Now is the time that you got to find that one. And we've seen some upsets, especially in your backyard last year with Cincinnati going up to New England, and everybody was on Cincinnati. Hell, there was a lot of upsets at the beginning of last year, if I'm not mistaken. There were a lot. Survivor pool was going to be figured out in before Thanksgiving, the joke was. But with that being said, are there any money line plays coming in that you think probably should avoid the potential upset for week 1 in the NFL? And specifically, you know where I'm going. Eagles and Cowboys, 7-point spread to open up. Survivor pool play, would you give that a thumbs up?
I don't love that game for a couple of reasons. I don't love going to the Thursday night game, and I don't love, the Thursday night game, week 1 is the champions. So I don't love the potential for the hangover game, raising the banner, like championship night. We know that angle. I don't like the divisional game, week 1 aspect of it. You can't be more down on the Cowboys than right now, but now is when they're their healthiest. Like, they got their guys back for the most part. That's just for a couple of reasons is one that I would stay away with. And sticking with the divisional theme, I think like another popular one will probably be Washington over the Giants. The Giants are down from 7-point dogs to 6-point dogs. McLaurin hasn't been in camp. They're talking about trading Brian Robinson Jr. I love Jaden Daniels, actually. I think he's great. But like we saw the sophomore slump with CJ Stroud, just the bodies he's going to be missing in terms of skill position players, I think could matter. And the Giants have a really good defensive line. They might stink, but they have a really good defensive line. That one scares me as well, week 1. And then the divisional game, Cincinnati. We know Cincinnati starts slow every time. Everybody's going to remember that from last year. They play at the Browns. You're going to zig when everyone zags. I bet everyone's going to be avoiding the Bengals. So do you want to play the Bengals because they might be a lower ownership, big favorite in week 1? I don't know. The biggest spread on the board is Denver over Tennessee, right? And I think that's the one I like the most, with a rookie quarterback making the week 1 start for a bad team in Denver. So that's where maybe that's the obvious one. Maybe that'll be the most heavily owned one. But that's where I'm looking.
Here's where I'm eyeing, Julian. Steelers Jets, of course, little revenge spot for Aaron Rodgers and Steelers. I don't know how much you're going to trust them later in the season, playing in maybe the best division of football.
Also a revenge spot for the Jets, playing Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, that's true. But new coach, even though Aaron Rodgers had an infamous meeting. I guess that's true. But would you take the Steelers there? Because that's one I've been eyeing.
I don't know if I'm going to go there in Survivor. I do like Pittsburgh week 1. I lean that way. Tomlin should just be able to keep everything together with Rodgers a little bit more. They have some decent pieces in place, and I'm not too high on the Jets this season. So I lean to the Steelers. I don't know if it depends on the Survivor pool, how big it is, what your strategy is, how many entries you have, all that. So not to say you shouldn't use Pittsburgh if you got multiple in there. But a little dicey for me week 1. But dicey works. Dicey's been good the last couple of years.
No, you're right about that. We're talking to Julian EDLOW from DraftKings Sportsbook, of course, getting our Survivor pool plays going here, and there's been a lot of thoughts and interesting spreads too. You look at some of these division matchups. A lot of teams are opening up in division, so that's something that I always try to avoid. But one of those games that I'm curious to get your thoughts on is Monday Night Football. I was not buying into anything Chicago Bears last year. Obviously, there's a big difference this year. I do think Ben Johnson is the real deal. And I don't know who doesn't. I don't know if that's, a hot take. I have no idea. But I was really fascinated with what he was able to do with Detroit as far as offense is concerned, is the dynamics he brought in, the play calling of obviously getting people open. And they had a lot of playmakers. But I think the Chicago Bears have a pretty good roster as well, especially on the offensive side. So I look at that spot with J.J. McCarthy and everything he's going to have to deal with, Jordan Addison being out. So there's rumors that the Vikings are looking to trade for a receiver right now. Of course, J.J. had a bum hamstring. He'll be fine. But I think it's going to be a difficult spot for the Vikings to go into Chicago and win. It's a 1.5 spread on DraftKings Sportsbook, 43.5. First Monday Night Football kick, Julian. Any leans, any action coming into DraftKings that's making you sway one way or the other or making you think twice about this game?
I liked Minnesota getting the 1.5 at open, and now they are favored by 1.5. I actually put them in a teaser with Denver to essentially win the game and get Minnesota up to plus 7.5. The sharpest play looking at the splits, I mean, the move on the side is somewhat telling. The sharper play looking at the splits, I know we're talking about the offenses in this one, but, Caleb Williams shredded up Buffalo second unit in that primetime game. What's it going to look like doing the real thing? I believe in Ben Johnson. I just think it might take some time. And then Minnesota, I believe in even more so. I like the Vikings a lot this year. I bet them over 8.5 wins. I think that Kevin O'Connell can turn J.J. McCarthy into, if you can do that with Darnold, you can do it with a lot of guys, in my opinion. And I think he'll make J.J. McCarthy look good. They have a good offensive line. They have 2 good running backs. They have receivers, even though they're a little thin early. And I really like the defense. So 57% of the tickets for 86% of the handle are on the under in that game. That's where the money's coming in for these offenses to maybe be a little slow out of the gates. But I do like Minnesota in the game. I'll be on Minnesota. I teased them up. I don't know if I'll just play them on the money line at this point, but that'll be, my recommendation for the game at this point, since you can no longer tease Minnesota as the favorite, would be playing the Vikings.
All right. Well, I hate when we disagree, but we're going to do that from time to time when we talk about these games throughout the course of a season. It's all good there. We'll see what happens. Of course, we got a long way to go. College football front and center for us. Can't wait to kick things off on Saturday. And then, of course, next Thursday, we got some pretty good games. We'll have you on, of course, the Air setting us up. And then East Carolina and NC State, which is a game that's, big in my household. Looking forward to watching that one. But, of course, and I think our first kickoff on next Thursday is like 5:30. We got a 5:30 kickoff.
Yeah, so. Boise and USF at 5:30.
We're doing a little pregame action for Boise and USF, Julian. I mean, you right here. With that being said, though, I want to get you out of here on this one. Because we're having some fun, of course, what's taking place in Philadelphia as far as the Phillies are concerned. Now, I know our guy Stevie Bukes is the baseball guy, but, you're a guy that dabbles on what's happening in the sports world from time to time. So I wanted to throw you this hypothetical question. I'm curious because you can give us a really good foundational answer judging off of everything that you know from dealing with this stuff with the sports book, the odds, and so on and so forth. But right now, the NL MVP race, a lot of people here in Philadelphia, a lot of sportscasters that aren't dialed into this stuff, continue to fire and pump up the fact that Kyle Schwarber is in the running for the National League MVP. Now, full disclosure, Julian, there was a time back in May that I was belly up to a bar. Yeah, shocker there. And I'm texting with the Gambler gang, and I said, damn it, I'm doing it. Kyle Schwarber, National League MVP. It was 44-1. I said, sure, Shohei, just rename the award after him, whatever. But in my mind, I said something along the lines of, if this Phillies team has the best record in the National League and Schwarber leads the league in home runs, I think he's got a legit shot. So I thought 44-1 was a pretty good payday, right? So why not? Let's go. Oh, by the way, with injuries too in May, whatever. So here we are now on August the 21st. Kyle Schwarber goes yard again. It feels like Shohei is going yard as much as Schwarber is. He's got 45 home runs. He is still Shohei is minus 6,000.
How many home runs does Ohtani have? by the way?
I should know that.
You know?
Sorry, I'm pulling right up right now. The home run, does he have 44? I think he's got 44. So Schwarber has him by one at this
so they're
point.
about even in the home run market.
That is correct. That is correct. So I'm wondering if you could paint the picture for people that are non-believers right now that Schwarber has no chance of winning this award. What would he have to do in your mind to even have a chance for this number to come down? Or maybe it doesn't, but the voters are enamored with what took place in Philadelphia and they want to give it to Kyle Schwarber. What do you think he has to do from now until the end of the regular season to even have a shot at winning the award?
Well, I'll say this, speaking on awards overall.
Yep.
Something happened a couple of years ago that opened my eyes to saying, hey, let's all open our minds on awards and think about anything that can happen. And the award that I'm speaking of is the shoe-in automatic winner that I was grading myself for Damar Hamlin Comeback Player of the Year.
Oh, yes.
And then Joe Flacco plays 5 games and is marching up on stage to steal my money.
Wow.
And I'm like, if Joe Flacco can play 5 games and win Comeback Player of the Year over a guy that died on the field and then played the next year, then maybe we should be more open-minded that these things can get voted in any which way.
That's the weirdest award, Comeback Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
And it would, yeah, that one is so much more, MVP is a little more cut and dry, especially in baseball is such a numbers league. But just the idea of that, I had to say, like, all right, when I'm betting awards, I'm going to be more open-minded to, like, anything can happen, especially since it's human voted.
Yep.
And maybe the voters would even tell you they messed up the Damar Hamlin Joe Flacco award.
I would hope.
So you can't bet on Ohtani. Nobody's betting Ohtani minus 6,000. He was recently minus 20,000.
Correct.
Which means things are trending in your direction.
Okay.
The Dodgers have been a letdown. Dodgers have let me down. I played their win total over, and now I really need the Red Sox to get to 85 wins so I don't go 0-2 in win totals. So you're probably going to need an Ohtani injury. But if you're you now have a 44-1 ticket on Ohtani, it could be something minor. He can miss a couple weeks, and Schwarber hits 5 home runs that week, and the Phillies finish with a better record than the Dodgers. To answer your question, I don't think it's impossible.
Okay.
I don't think if Schwarber and Ohtani both play the rest of the way out that you're going to win, unless Schwarber just goes a home run a day. But I don't think Ohtani would have to go down with a serious injury for the season. I think he could. We got 6 weeks or less of the season left. I think if he misses 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Somehow that would be the boost you need to make it a race that looks a lot more like Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh.
Interesting. Well, how about this? He ended up getting hurt yesterday. Did Shohei Ohtani get hurt yesterday? Let's see here. He got hit by a line drive in his right leg, 4th inning. I didn't even see this. All right.
He's expected to be fine, though.
Yeah, he's fine. He's not in the lineup today, though. They're playing right now against Colorado. Yeah, bad job by me, but I didn't even see that. I thought I did witness that game. I didn't think he did. He was pulled early. I didn't see that injury, but
it was his worst start since he came back as a pitcher.
Good. And that's the thing, too, that's going up against some of the things that I'm arguing. Because I said, look, if he's going to go out there and pitch, just rename the award after. But he hasn't been good pitching.
No.
So I think it's working. I think that might work against him if he's not a good pitcher and they're not getting wins the time he steps out in the mound. But it feels like he's going yard as much as Schwarber is. And if it's neck and neck, they're going to give it to Ohtani. But, like you said, the guy died on the field and didn't win Comeback Good Player of the Year award. So anything is possible. It's a good pull by you, Julian. I like where your mind was at on that one. Nice
Anything's
work.
Possible.
Anything is possible, yeah, especially when it comes to the voters. All right, hey, man, great stuff as always. We're pumped up. College football gets going here on Saturday. Rainbow Warriors, we're all fighting for Timmy Chang out there in the 50th state. I'll be watching. I'll be on Hawaii with you as well. Don't know if you want to hear that or not, but we're rocking the -2.5. Let's get a victory. We'll catch up next week. And, of course, we got a big slate of games to cover on next Thursday's episode. But for now, we will continue to listen to the podcast daily. Always a pleasure. Good luck on your plays, Julian. We'll catch up next week, man.
Go Bows. Looking forward to it.
Go Bows. There he is. Nice work. Julian Edlow on the Gambler Hotline. Yes, Timmy Chang, who is, if not the leader in passing yards in college football. Did he have that? I think he might be number one on that list. I could be mistaken. He's definitely up there. I know that much. He threw for a ton out there with Hawaii. Anyways, he's the head coach, and we're rolling with Hawaii. We'll talk a little bit more about that game with Ryan Beef Coyle. Other side, though, back to Philadelphia. Hey, maybe I'm eating my words here. Maybe Schwarber does have a chance.
I hope. I mean, if it was anybody else in the running, he would win MVP other than Shohei.
You know, like you look at the NBA awards with the MVP, like the joke was Kobe could have won it every year, right? He should have won it.
Yeah, LeBron too.
Steve Nash had some pretty damn good seasons.
Yeah, Kobe should have won. Kobe should have won. Kobe should not have won MVP.
What?
Kobe should not have won MVP in his career.
He should not have won?
No, he should not only have one.
Oh,
he
gotcha.
only has one.
All right, sorry.
He only has one.
It took me a second to connect that. I'm like, wait, what now? No. Yeah, and Steve Nash did put up some serious numbers, and I know that's a big, focus for a lot of people out there. But at the end of the day, Kobe should have probably won it all those years because he was the best player in the game.
And I don't think the Shohei fatigue has kicked in yet. The way it did with LeBron James in the mid 2010s, where it's like he should be winning it every year. He's undisputable best player in basketball. I don't think that fatigue has kicked in with Shohei just yet. Maybe in the next season or two, but not just yet.
You only get 4 or 5 at bats in a game.
Exactly.
That's why. That's the difference. And when Shohei steps to the plate, but Schwarber's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
He's doing the same thing. All right, we're late for a break. NATALIE EGENOLF's going to join us in studio. We'll get back to some Phillies. We'll mix in some Eagles. She's out and about tonight with Taryn Hatcher. Find out more on the other side. Back after this.
We don't just watch college football. We live it.
How did he stay on balance there? Look at him go! Scataboo!
Join us for the stories, the scores, and the Saturday magic. It's The Gambler.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
iHeart presents the Big Three Basketball Championship and 8th Annual All-Star Game. Miami 305's Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson taking on Montrezl Harrell and Dr. J's Chicago Triplets for the title. Plus Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, and more. CBS Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific.
Hey, it's Sean Brace. Make the most of your summer without stressing your budget. Use the Zip app. With Zip, you can make more happen this summer, from front row to baseball game to last-minute grocery runs for that barbecue. Zip lets you comfortably pay over time with the flexible payment schedule. You can use Zip online and in-store almost anywhere Visa is accepted. Learn more at zip.co. Loans through Zip pay anywhere, and Zip web checkout, including any powered by Zip loans, are originated by WebBank.
CEOs you should know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
David Goodstadt, founder and CEO of Ballers. Ballers is really born from my love of sport and our passion to bring people together around the shared love of sport. Ballers is a social sports venue. There's a club component to it, but anyone from the public can come and experience what we have to offer. We'll have pickleball courts, padel. There's a turf playing field, which will be primarily used for soccer, but can be used for any type of event on a field. We've got 2 squash courts. We'll have golf simulators, as well as a short game practice area. And then we have an extensive gym, locker room, and recovery areas that will include things like infrared saunas, cold plunges. And then on the hospitality side, we've actually got 2 bars and a full restaurant. We're located in Fishtown in a building called The Battery. It's actually the historic power plant of Philadelphia, and it's truly iconic. What we believe we're creating is an ecosystem where, whether you're a player, an observer, so you could be a parent watching a kid, or a spouse supporting your partner, everyone is welcome and everyone can come together and find something they can connect with. And there is a multitude of sports that we offer. So it is a really amazing way to get people together. And obviously the side benefit, if you're actually playing the sport, it's healthy as well. We have a very active Instagram page, which is Ballers Social Sports, which is our handle. And then we've got a website, which is ballers-us.com.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
I thought I'd book a trip to Italy to celebrate retiring.
We didn't speak Italian.
We didn't then. We do now. Because of Babbel.
Babbel is the refreshingly easy-to-use app for learning a new language. Babbel uses immersive lessons to teach you vocabulary and grammar in a way that sticks. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Need better sleep? This Labor Day weekend, upgrade to premium sleep at Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Let their sleep experts match you with the perfect bed and get the rest you deserve. They make sleep easy. Shop Mattress Firm's best sale of the year.
Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Kansas City police say they're looking for the suspect who shot a gun into the office window of Chiefs coach Andy Reid last year. Eagles training camp, it's in the books after Wednesday's practice. Philly will close out the preseason tomorrow night when they take on the Jets. And over to baseball, and after finishing a sweep of the Mariners, the Phillies, they get tonight off, but they'll continue their homestand tomorrow night when they take on Washington. I'm Scott Davidson.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 or older. Age and eligibility vary by jurisdiction.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Good afternoon. Thursday drive home, mainly just volume delays right now. We're jammed on the Schuylkill westbound University to Jordan Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound slow Blue Route to Belmont, then stop and go Boulevard to the Vine Expressway. The Vine Expressway eastbound tied up Schuylkill Pass Broad. Westbound backed up approach to the Parkway to the Schuylkill Merge. 95 northbound Jan Gerard up the bridge. Southbound backed up Cotman to the Betsy Ross and approaching Ridley Park to 320. Blue Route northbound heavy 95 to Route 1 and southbound. So Broomall to Media Swap or Lara Tutela total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
The pitch to Schwarber. Swung on, hit high and deep, right field. Back at the wall and looking up, and that is gone. Just cleared over the railing. First row. And Kyle Schwarber with home run number 45.
Of course, the great Scott Pransky on the call. Phillies Radio Network. And the Phils won a big way yesterday, 11-2. Great pitching across the board by the Phillies, of course, in the bullpen, but starts and ends with the starters. Jesus Luzardo with 12 strikeouts and Christopher Sanchez the night before, 12 strikeouts. Sam Oshtry, Sean Brayson joining us in studio every Thursday, and then some as we get a little closer to football season.
Woo-hoo!
The one and only Miss Natalie EGENOLF.
Hi, Sean.
Nat.
Hi.
How
Happy
we doing?
Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Thursday. Happy about the Phillies, too.
Yes. Happy about the Phillies, and happy the Phillies finally get a day off, too, because they do a lot of good work around the community and the people that cover the team as well.
Yeah.
And I know you have something cooking this afternoon.
I do. I'll be at a Victory on the Parkway.
Oh, yeah.
Hosting a Phillies trivia to benefit the SPCA with Taryn Hatcher and Larry Boa.
Very cool.
So this is the second year we're doing it, and the proceeds go to the SPCA and this other charity called Betty's Triple. So it's a really, really fun event. And it's great to hang out at Victory and, get to interact with Phillies fans. And I'm intrigued to see what they have to say tonight about the state of affairs after, playing the Mariners, as hard as they did.
I think a sweep would get some positivity going. I'm not so sure that's going to be the case, though.
Look, look, they're one of the better teams in the American League. Yeah. I feel like offensively, they put on a dazzling display for the fans. And after losing Zach Wheeler, I feel like, that energy is the type of energy that we need to see as, because September is a hop, skip, and a week and a half, 2 weeks away.
That's why that series was so important, I feel like, because of the aftermath of the Wheeler news.
Yeah, it's like, how are they going to handle this as a team and get it together? And I mean, I liked what I saw from them. I couldn't ask for anything more, so.
Yeah, the Mariners are 12-1 to win the World Series.
Yeah.
The Phillies are plus 550, so that puts it in perspective. Of course, they were having a couple bad series heading into this series.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if they're going up against the left-handed pitcher, I'm betting against them every time from here on out. With the fact they could not hit the baseball. So much to talk to you today, Natalie, for just a little bit here. While we have you, obviously you're heading down to Yards. I do want to say this. One of my
Victory.
Victory, yes.
Victory. Because you said Yards originally, but Victory.
No, I didn't. I didn't say Yards originally.
Did he? I thought he said Victory.
He said Victory
earlier this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Damn it. Victory.
Victory is around the corner from my apartment. So I love that bar. I love that restaurant. It's great.
Well, stop
great
on
spot.
by.
Yeah, I should. I will.
Both great facilities, great places.
Yes.
But
Great
of course,
beer.
Victory above
Victory's
all.
all.
V for victory.
There it is. Victory Thursday here, talking some Phillies. But real fast, as far as Larry Bow is concerned, way back in the day when I used to work at a previous radio station, I was asked, hey, what are you doing on this day? Can you help us out? Larry Boa needs a driver. Sure, no problem. I got lost with Boa.
Did you? He's a gem.
Oh my God, he's the man.
Have you ever seen? So I don't know if you follow
The man.
him on Instagram. Well, it's his wife who runs his Instagram,
Okay. I
but
was like, damn,
he's
Boa's
doing
tweeting?
like box jumps. Up on
Nice.
the thing. He does
He's in
maybe
shape.
He's in great shape.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still kicking, so
yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah, and his name carries weight in this town, of course. All those great Phillies do, but Bo is above a lot of those former players as well.
Oh yeah,
And
he's so beloved.
yeah, he's the man. Great dude behind the scenes. But I did get lost with him. I asked him, like, Brace told me about you got lost, and I almost took him to Jersey. We were on the turnpike, and it's in like Harrisburg. I'm like, I don't want to go to Harrisburg.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. He's like, don't go to Jersey. Go this way.
That's a funny story because I unfortunately made Pierre Maguire and Doc Emmerich late for a flight.
Whoa.
Yeah, I had to drive them. One of my, the random jobs many moons ago.
Gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah, I had to drive them to the airport after an NHL game on a Sunday. It was a Sunday broadcast. And they were like, they just tossed me the keys and it was in a rush. And there was no getting out of the Wells Fargo. Well, now Xfinity Mobile.
Hello.
Arena.
Nice pull by you.
Yeah, thank you. There was no getting out of there in any sort of easy fashion. So I felt so bad, but it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
I couldn't move traffic. And
Did they make the flight in the end?
No.
Oh,
No, Doc, I don't believe I think Pierre made his. I don't believe Doc made his.
That's
so
funny.
I felt really bad, but there was nothing I could do about that.
It's not your fault.
No.
Traffic's traffic.
No, and leaving the Wells Fargo Center after a Flyers game, like, come on.
Now known as the
Xfinity Mobile Arena. And did you
Okay.
see that?
Which I was going to say, which is now across the way from Stateside Live.
Say
Xfinity Live tweeted out earlier. We
Let's get rid of all Xfinity.
What are you laughing about?
Because it's just funny.
Is that the drink sponsor?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like
Which
where
is
it's
local.
from?
Yeah.
Stateside Live. Like, I like it. It's just funny.
No, but everyone's calling, let's go to Xfinity Live still.
Well,
let's be honest.
it will change. It will.
I don't know.
I
Everyone
don't
still calls
know.
it Twitter. Oh, I'm
Well,
going on Twitter.
Well, and I still call, unfortunately, BB&T or no,
Do you
it's
really?
I called like the Tweeter Center.
Yeah, I don't. That's a good. I call it Camden.
Camden.
I'm
going to Camden.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for some reason, for me, it stopped at the
You're
Tweeter
right.
Center. Any name after that, I'm
That's
like,
funny.
yeah, I'm going to the Tweeter.
Wells Fargo will still be Wells Fargo in our book, in our minds.
Well, Xfinity Mobile Arena is like, that's like a mouthful.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, and now, like I said, Xfinity Live tweeted out earlier today. We are excited to announce coming this fall, Stateside Live. I can only imagine the price point. And the article that I read last year about what Stateside is doing and how much money they're
Philly
making.
Founders.
They have
Philly
been
Founders, yeah.
absolutely incredible. And
That blew my mind.
It's kind of awesome. I used to live in Fishtown, where their distillery
Yeah.
is, and it's kind of remarkable to watch them go from, this small distillery based in Philadelphia, creating this delicious. I mean,
Really good.
this isn't an ad either.
No, yeah.
Like, who doesn't
Genuinely
love
a good drink.
Yeah, it's genuinely a good drink.
Best of the
And,
best.
Yeah, and then now it's like this Philly company, they're buying Xfinity Live. It's super cool. I mean,
it's awesome.
it's always gonna be the spot to go near the stadiums.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get, some new stuff built, not just say, I love Xfinity Live.
Yeah.
We have an unbelievable partnership with them. It is the place to be.
Yeah, I agree. There needs to be a little bit more down there.
I agree.
Yeah.
With that. Did they were they weren't the first because it was White Claw, right? Everybody was Claw crazy.
Yeah,
Yes.
White Claw started the seltzer craze.
It was White Claw. Well, there was spiked seltzer.
Wow.
And then, White Claw and spiked seltzer, I feel like came out at the same time.
Truly was a little bit after that.
Yes.
Well, why did Stateside all of a sudden pop? I'm curious.
It's good.
It's because it's the tea.
Yeah.
And
yes, that's it. The tea was the game changer.
It's the tea. And in Philadelphia, like if you look at a heat map of like twisted tea consumption,
everybody drinks
everybody
twisted tea.
drinks twisted tea in Philly.
Yeah.
You could Google it and pull it up.
I'm a sugar-free twisted tea guy on some days.
Tea lights. Tea lights, Sean. We'll have to do a tea off.
I'm telling you right now, Matt, you and I, eye to eye. I love it. Yes, we will have to do a tee off. I like the sound of that. But shout out to Stateside and, of course, the folks over at Xfinity Live, formerly known. Really excited about this upcoming football season. We're going to be there doing a lot, and hopefully for a nice run throughout the course of October as well with the Phillies Red Oktoberfest approaching. With that being said, I wanted to ask you, you kind of dipped your toe into that conversation that with Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez has shown us this year that he could be looked at as the ace. So if Wheeler, and we care about the human first and foremost, terrible story.
That's horrible.
It could be career ending.
Yeah, it could be career ending, but I mean, a blood clot, like you don't want to mess around with that. You don't want to mess around with that. He's in good hands. So
do you think, obviously I know you were a little bit more, as I said, cut from the same cloth. We're optimistic when it comes to the Phillies, especially this year.
Yeah.
Did it hit you a certain type of way? Did it make you feel a little bit less optimistic?
Oh, I was like, it's over. I said I ride the wave, but the wave starts coming down at about this point in the season. Fair. And it's mid-August, late August, this injury happens to our star, and it's I was like, you got to be kidding me. But again, I like what I saw from them against the Mariners. They were able to execute and get it done. So I gotta hope that they stick together and kind of,
I think it could be one of these things that galvanizes them, brings them together.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like we got to band together, and unfortunately, sometimes that's a momentum shifter that you need.
Well, and we don't have to go back that far. 2017 wasn't all that long ago, and with Nick Foles, that was one that I was on my knees crying. I go, that's it. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, as Carson Wentz was walking in the locker room in LA, I'm like, I can't believe this is how the season ends.
I know. And that was the first.
I got goosebumps talking about it.
I know. And that was the first season that we had been anywhere remotely close to seeing that type of play from that team. Yeah. So that was a hurt piece. But look at what happened.
Look what happened.
Yeah, so Nicky Foles comes in.
And I guess Christopher Sanchez has to be the next Nick Foles.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
Absolutely. With that, so Sanchez is an easy one at 1. That's fine. So who are you looking at right now with the hopes that they're going to slide in and fulfill that number 2 spot? Is it a Ranger? Is it a Nola? Is it Jesus Luzardo? Are you even interested in seeing Painter come up? Where are you at right now if Wheeler is done for the rest of the season? I hate to ask this question on August 21st, but where are you at for starter number 2?
Oh, my goodness. I guess if I'm going, all right, you said...
Because I would say, look, I would like to believe that Aaron Nola can all of a sudden
I feel like he's gonna. I don't know if I necessarily believe that.
That's true.
I'd trust Ranger as the 2 right now.
I was thinking
Nola.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah. I was gonna go Suarez, but I don't. Yeah, because Nola. I mean, I know that he's supposed to be. That's what I feel like. The right answer should be Nola.
Yeah. Going into this year, last year, that was the case.
That should be the answer, but I don't necessarily think that that's the answer. So I would probably go Suarez.
Can we just get Duran
over and over and over again?
Have him as a starter.
We just
bring him back in for the closer. Just run him out there.
Ice. Right? We'll put him in ice every night, some sort of cryogenic chamber.
I'm in.
He comes up from the pitcher's mound. There's smoke and spiders everywhere. It'll be great. But I got to see that for the first time in person, and it was super cool.
I think this is something that's up your wheelhouse. What was your take on the slack or flack that NBC Sports Philadelphia was catching with the fact that they didn't have his intro? And the people want to see his intro. I thought, look, like, can't you go ahead and ask a sponsor to say, come on, man, someone step up, WB Mason, and own this intro so we don't have to go to commercial, or can we do picture in picture? But they have to do something, obviously.
Yeah, I they got to do something, but unfortunately, we know the side of it where it's like there's not enough broadcast time.
Correct.
It's like things.
It's
timed. Everything's timed down to like the millisecond,
And
you
dollars,
can hear that.
Dollars
Sometimes.
in game aren't the same as dollars spent post game.
Yeah.
So it's really tough.
It's really tough to try and justify. It's like, how do we expand this time by taking an advertiser out of there? But I mean, it's unfortunate you don't get to see it at home, but it's everywhere on the internet.
That's true too.
Yeah. Maybe they'll probably figure it out by the playoffs, I think. Or I hope so.
I think they figured it out. I think they got lucky yesterday.
Yeah.
Although it was a day game, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't have hit the same. But I clearly, again, all love and respect. It's not an easy gig, so I'm playing Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah.
With that being said, I do believe they got caught. And like, whoa, all right, we're catching a little backlash. They should have probably known that this was going to come. And with that being said, picture in picture, just do it.
Yeah, picture in picture.
Find a way to stay with warm-ups,
Yeah.
roll the commercials. You
Yeah, that would be
have to.
cool.
It's the only
That
way
would
you
be
can-
cool.
Yeah, and in this way, look, you can tell WB Mason or the
The
30
Grillo's pickles, they're all over the Citizens Bank Park.
one of my issues when I'm watching those games, man, is like the ads that they have on that screen. I took a picture the other day. There was 14 ads. I'm not lying to you.
It's the world we're living in,
For
Sean.
the pitching mound,
He's the
the
Bills.
home plate, the scoreboard, the bug, the backdrop, and oh, by the way, what you see on TV is not what's in stadium. So it's ads on ads.
Did you?
On ads.
It's like that scene in Wayne's World where when like Wayne and Garth are sitting there, and Garth's just like, it's just like people who do things because they get paid, and that's just really sad. And he's in like head to toe Reebok, drinking Pepsi.
Oh yeah,
You know
man.
what scene I'm talking about?
But these,
I'm the only person who references Wayne's World in 2025.
I liked it. I got it. I was onto it. Made me think a little bit there. Red licorice. I'm in with you. I would say we are probably 5 years away from these guys being in full NASCAR uniforms, but we'll see what happens on that. Hopefully that is not the case. All right. With that being said, we only got it for a couple more minutes. Over to the Eagles and Cowboys, Nat.
Woo!
Opening up the season.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you an easy one.
Okay.
Is there any chance that the Cowboys win that game?
I really don't think so. I really don't think so.
Do the Eagles win by more than 7-point spread?
No.
So you just
I think it's going to be a good game. I do think it's going to be a good game, but I don't think 7. I don't think they're going to go over 7. I think they're going to cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be. Look, if Micah Parsons doesn't play, I have to believe that the Eagles are going to have success running.
Yeah, but that's what's hard to kind of pinpoint right now.
Yes, and we'll see how that one plays out with Big Jer, but good grief, man.
What a mess.
Yeah, it really is.
A fortunate mess for us.
Yeah, I do like that. I do like
Have
that.
you watched the documentary?
I still have to watch that one
I
as
haven't
well.
either, but I don't think I'm going to. I don't need to see Jerry Glaze Fest that it's gonna be.
No.
Like I just don't need to see it. Like what am I watching this
Yeah.
for? But everyone's talking about the NFL world.
Yeah. Because the thing about Eagles Cowboys, isn't it? Like no matter what the state, like they always play each other tough, and it's a new season, so we don't even really know what this Eagles. I recalibrate my expectations, kind of like I do with the Phillies with the Eagles every year. We don't know what this team looks like yet. It's a new team.
Mm-hmm.
It is new play caller.
New play caller.
Larry
Yeah.
Dickerson's probably not going to be there, right? Like,
Exactly.
we haven't got an update on him a little bit week to week. I'm very skeptical
Yeah.
week to week.
Yeah.
I would think it's more month to month.
Yeah.
That's a big loss.
That's a huge loss.
Huge loss.
That's what I mean. We don't even really know what the team's going to
Exactly.
look like yet. So I'm hesitant today to say that they're going to blow them out because again, Cowboys always play us tough, but we're going to win it.
And that's what I was saying earlier when we started the show to Sam. I'm like, all right, because Nat, when we used to do this, we would look at the schedule. We'd say, all right, they're going to split with the Cowboys. And then maybe back in the day, you would have said they'll split with the Giants. Now, maybe some people are saying they're going to split with the Commanders. But I don't hear anybody saying they're splitting with the Cowboys. I don't hear anybody saying they're splitting with the Giants. And I just refuse to believe it's going to be that easy.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, when will that slip up happen? And I'm starting to look at the schedule, and maybe those games won't mean much down the stretch. They have two against the Commanders at the end of the year.
I know. Well, and what's interesting, like I feel like their schedule it's tough. It's not
really
an easy schedule. They're not home back-to-back weeks, constantly back and forth. It's what Cowboys, Chiefs, Rams, Bucks.
Unbelievable start.
Yeah. Broncos. So I mean, they're gonna have to come out guns blazing each game.
That's look, I think they get the home opener. I would just be heartbroken. I think we all would. A matter of fact, that was a really good clip from AJ Brown on Part of My Take, which I'm not a listener, but I did see it on,
I didn't see that
online. So when they were down at the Eagles camp and they had all those guys come through, he asked them, when is Nick Sirianni on the hot seat? And AJ said, I'll tell you what, we lose that week 1 game, man. Just say. And I thought it was true, though. Hysterical. And he said the other radio station up there, he said, whip. He said, whip gonna be after us, man.
Oh,
I think
God.
he did. I was dying, dude. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I can't believe it's almost here.
We are
Yesterday, last day of training camp. Like
2 weeks from today.
It's a fun time.
Buckle up, gentlemen.
Yeah, we are off and running here. All right. Speaking of running, I know you got to get
bounce.
to victory.
I have
Once
to go
again,
save the puppies.
Yeah, plug the people. Why you look, are you a puppy owner? Do you have a dog yourself? Have you had a dog? Why are you a dog lover?
Okay, so I'm a dog lover, and I had a dog, Ginger, for 15 years.
Come on.
Ginger is no longer with us.
Oh, Ginger. Rest in peace. What was Ginger?
She was a Chihuahua mix.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, my sweet little angel. So I've done work with the SPCA for years because I just think, animals bring people such joy. And there's so many animals that need homes in Philadelphia. And they really, really, everybody who works there takes care of animals, the vets from the volunteers, like they just do such a tremendous job. And I really like to take care of them because in the end, that's where I went when it came time to take care of my, my own thing. And I know that they loved and treated Ginger like their own. So I always am willing to give back to them. So it'll be me, Taryn Hatcher, Larry Boa hosting this Phillies Quizzo, and it's going to be a lot of fun for the SPCA.
It's going to be a great scene down there at Victory. Enjoy some summer love. And please, if you get an opportunity, say, hey, Larry Bow, what happened when you and Sean Brace were in the car? I heard he almost went to New York City.
I'm going to ask him.
Yo, Brace, that way. It was
oh,
funny.
my God.
Yeah, it was bad. Bad job by me. But hey, he made the
you
appearance.
missed a turn here and there. It's all right.
He made the appearance on time.
Yeah.
It was getting home.
At least he didn't miss his flight,
There you go. Nat, you are the best. Of course, we got a lot cooking. Trust me when I tell you on that, people. You're not going to want to miss what Natalie has going on for our station moving forward. But she's joining us right now for Thursdays, gearing up for all things football season. But we're not turning our backs to the Phillies. We got a Red Oktoberfest approaching. We're going to be all over the place. Natalie EGENOLF in studio. Have a blast. Give our best to Taryn and raise some money for those pups.
Have a fantastic day, gentlemen.
You guys, you're the best. You. All right. Other side, Ryan Beef Quote, talk some college football. More Daily Ticket after this.
From Tuscaloosa to the Big House, Saturdays start here.
Howard flips it. Smith's got it, and the freshman just waltzes in as the Buckeyes score.
Your home for all things college football coverage. It's The Gambler. It's the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace, 3 to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Change isn't always progress. And right now, every sport we've grown up with is changing, and not in small ways. Tiger Woods recently just came out and said, as the head of the Future Competition Committee, quote, this is about shaping the next era, close quote. Sounds great for players, sounds great for sponsors. What about the fans? Where's our cut? These leagues keep chasing bigger dollars, and sure, I get it. That's the business. But would it be crazy to not shell out $150 for a nosebleed seat to an Eagles game or $14 for a Miller Lite pounder? That's all I'm asking for. If this is really about the shaping the next era, whether it's college or the pros, how about shaping it with the fans in mind too? We always hear about the fans, yet I feel like none of these decisions ever actually benefit us.
If you can wager on it, we're talking about it right here on The Gambler.
My station, baby!
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Traffic jam up on 42 southbound off the Walt Whitman down to Creek Road. 95 northbound, stop and go Girard up the bridge. Southbound backed up Cottman to the Betsy Ross and approaching Ridley Park to 320. Blue Route northbound heavy 95 to Route 1 and southbound delays Broomall to Media Swarthmore. Eastbound Schuylkill, so Blue Route to Belmont and Jan approaching Montgomery Drive to south. Westbound stop and go University to Girard and City to Belmont. To tell the total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
David Goodstadt, founder and CEO of Ballers.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
iHeart presents the Big Three Basketball Championship and 8th Annual All-Star Game. Miami 305's Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson taking on Montrezl Harrell and Dr. J Chicago Triplets for the title. Plus Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, and more. CBS Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific.
This is Ben Green with Lenovo Legion, and I'm inviting you to come check out the Legion Gaming Cube at the iHeart House of Music on September 19th and 20th. It's part of the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Vegas. It's your chance to test your gaming skills on the best PCs anywhere. Go head-to-head with players at the event, all live streamed from the first ever Lenovo Legion Cube. The Cube is part gaming zone, part creative playground, and it's all powered by Lenovo Legion. So come find us at the House of Music, and if you're not already a member of the Legion gaming community, you can sign up now for free at gaming.lenovo.com.
Whether it's day or night, hot flashes due to menopause can be unpredictable. That's why there's Veoza, a prescription treatment proven to reduce the number and severity of hot flashes day and night that can start working in as early as 1 week. Based on clinical studies measuring efficacy at 4 and 12 weeks, individual results may vary. Talk to your healthcare provider about what this may mean for you. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms or hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com. There it is. There it is. Like the...
When I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut.
I don't want to step on Kenny. It's like the aroma coming off of the grill, Sam. Like at a cookout. You're like, ooh, is that burgers? Is that some sausage over there? Is that a dog? Oh, man. Yeah, football is in the air.
I think you're the biggest Kenny Chesney fan I know.
I brought up Kenny to head coach Mark Ferrante from Villanova, and I said, what do you do on Saturdays? Do you get up and listen to this song? And he started cracking up. We had a good laugh about that. Yeah, I'm a Kenny fan, especially during the summertime. And we still got 2 more weeks of that. But bottom line is, kids, football season is here. And we kick off. We got some action.
Kings of the school, man.
The boys of fall. Let them know, Kenny. Joining us on the Gambler Hotline, a gentleman that knows a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to the world of college football. He's my co-host. We're going to be riding on Saturdays in September, but we are going to be getting started next weekend with the big slate of games. Joining us right now, Ryan Beef Coyle. Beef, how you doing?
Gentlemen, it's good to be here. Went on a little run this morning, and I think it was like 59 degrees when I was out there. It was definitely that football air is getting here. Retired from the state of New Jersey until probably New Year's. So
really
we're locked in and ready for
I'm not going to see forgets the rest of the summer.
Wow.
Nah, no more forgets. I'm done.
I still got a couple weekends left.
I think a lot of
I
people
savor my forgets for sure.
Beef was running last night at the midnight hour. You wake up this morning pounding the pavement. What's going on? Well, how much you weighing these days?
It's a changed man.
It just changes. That's what I do. I'm locked in. I'm weighing in a little north of 170 right now.
Nice.
But yeah, we're getting in game shape, Brace. It's football season.
I haven't seen 170 since like 89, bro. Maybe. All right. We will talk some football right here, right now, because I know a lot of people are curious to know, like, hey, where should I be looking when it comes to week 0 games? We only got 5 to choose from, but we're going to beef up the slate just a little bit. Pun included there, or pun intended, with Ryan Beef Coyle joining us here. I want to open up with the big one, and that is a top 25 matchup in the Big 12. Of course, Kansas State and Iowa State, 3-point spread right here. But you caught my attention last night discussing some players that will be missing the game from Kansas State's perspective. Now, Beef, I just have to ask you, if these guys are worth anything. I felt like we would see some sort of line movement, and we haven't. It's still a 3-point spread. Am I reading that wrong? What's your gauge on the 2 players that are going to miss for Kansas State?
Yeah, so this is a new thing this year. They got to give out these availability reports. I think it's pretty strictly tied to gambling stuff, because college football, you could just rule guys as game time decisions. But now you actually have to give out these full kind of injury reports a few days ahead. So that'll help us going forward this season. But after looking into it and talking with a few people on Twitter that are Kansas State fans, Lincoln Cure is the main guy I was looking at that was out, as well as Jay Sean Ross. Tight end and the defensive line are the 2 deepest positions for this Kansas State team. So these are more so guys that are going to help throughout the season, but they're both freshmen, so they're not going to have a real major impact this year. Lincoln Cure at the tight end, he's actually Kansas State's first ever 5-star recruit. So he's going to be the tight end of the future there, but he doesn't really have to contribute from day one. So we haven't really seen much line movement, because I don't think either of those guys are supposed to be immediate impact players. And when you look at Iowa State on the other side, they lost 2 1,000-yard receivers, another NFL draft cornerback. So it's a team that is going to be cycling in a lot of new key players as well. So it's kind of week 0. We still don't know everything about these teams. But Kansas State, they're sitting at -3. I think that's a fair number.
Who has the advantage at quarterback? 2 pretty good quarterbacks, 2 household names, in my opinion. Who's got the advantage at the quarterback position between the 2 teams?
I say pure talent-wise, I'd probably go with Avery. And I think going into his second year full-time as a starter, he's going to take a big leap this year. When you look at Rocco Beck, he's a solid quarterback. I think you know what you're going to get out of him. But you look to the game against Kansas State even last year, like, he went 13 of 35 for 137 yards. He averaged about 4 yards an attempt during that game. So this isn't a guy that's an NFL prospect at the quarterback position whatsoever. He's more so a game manager, and he had 2 1,000-yard NFL receivers on his team last year. So you take those guys out of the lineup, I don't know if he's a player that's able to go out there and lead this team consistently, put them on his back. So Avery Johnson has that capability. And when you look at Avery as well, what's his best attribute? His legs, his mobility. This is as fresh as he's going to be all season. I expect to see 10 to 12 different design runs for him, and he's going to make you pay with some scrambles as well.
Are you feeling a certain type of way when it comes to the total score? Of course, we know these two teams played last year, and I think it was 30 or 29-21 was the final score. And so are we expecting somewhere around that ballpark? Do you think defense will be at a premium due to the fact that this is the first game of college football, neutral site, and they had to take a flight across the seas to Ireland? A lot of hoopla leading up to the game. Any vibe right now on the total sitting at 50.5?
I probably lead under just because of what I said about Rocco Beckton's performance against Kansas State last year. Kansas State in that game shot themselves in the foot a bunch. They gave they turned the ball over a handful of times. They gave Iowa State the ball in plus territory a handful of times. You look at Rocco Beck's stats, 13 of 35. That guy really struggled in that game. So expect Kansas State to roll out a similar blueprint. As long as they don't turn the football over, this game should be pretty low scoring. Iowa State, as I mentioned a couple times now, rolling out a new group of pass catchers. They need new guys to step up. Who is going to step up? They're going to have to work some things out. And Kansas State, they're not an explosive offense. They're more of kind of let's move the ball methodically down the field, and then maybe we can hit a big play. But I expect this to be more of a slugfest. I kind of like it in like that 24 to 20 type of ballpark. So I would lean the under of 49 right now.
Leaning the under. And did you say you have a side in this at the -3 mark?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas State 24-20. I think it is a close game, comes kind of down to the wire. But I think Kansas State has that ability with both sides of the line of scrimmage. I think they're better. I think they're just going to lean on this Iowa State team and kind of wear them out as the game goes on. Dylan Edwards is a really good running back. They're always able to run the football for Kansas State. So I'm going to go with Kansas State to get a win here. Being a neutral site, too, I think it is huge for Kansas State. Last year, that matchup was at Iowa State. Iowa State was going for their first ever 10-win season. So that was kind of like their Super Bowl, this matchup last year. And if Kansas State doesn't shoot themselves in the foot, they probably come out on top in that one. So I like the Wildcats to win this one, get off the 1-0 start on the season.
All right. Now, playing devil's advocate, and I'm with you. I'm taking Kansas State as well. Again, it's week 0. Got to have action in the first game. Ireland, we're going to be following. We're going to be doing some stuff in the morning. Yeah, we're all fired up. Let's go. If Kansas State does not win this game, right now they are tied on DraftKings Sportsbook as favorites to win the Big 12 Conference at plus 550. That means it opens it wide open, right? As far as who could potentially win the conference. Is this a type of loss that takes them out of that conversation? Or, what we've seen in previous years, especially last year, it's, look, it's one loss. It's not the end of the world, but it is an in-conference loss to an opponent that they are favored against. Like I said, plus 550 for the other teams here. Just to let you know, Utah 6-1, Texas Tech 6-1, Baylor 7-1, TCU plus 850, Iowa State 11-1, Kansas 18-1. We'll stop there. Does it open up the conference if Kansas State loses week 1 or week 0?
I think when you look at just the Big 12 in general, the conference is wide open to begin with, because you look at last season, Arizona State was projected to finish 16th in the conference, and they wound up winning the conference. I'm not going to be surprised if we see any group of 7 or 8 teams out of this Big 12 win it. Now, if Kansas State loses, is their season over? No, I don't think so. But they do have a couple tough spots. They have to go to Baylor and they have to go to Utah. To say, even if you split those and you're sitting here at 10-2 and you have 2 conference losses, does that get you in? Because there's a good chance that some teams might only have 1 conference loss. So it opens it up for sure, but I still think you're not putting the nail in the coffin if Kansas State loses this game, just because I think there's a good chance that the winner of this Big 12 is probably a 9-3 to a 10-2 team. You're not going to get any team, I think, out of the Big 12 going 11-1 or running the table.
Staying on the Big 12, I hate picking Arizona State again. But if Iowa State does upset Kansas State, I mean, you're saying the winner might end up 9-3. But Kansas State, if they lose this game, you look at other contenders in the Big 12, and I liked Texas Tech a lot until about a few days ago when Quentin Joyner goes down with a season-ending knee injury. And he was supposed to be the running back that replaced Taj Brooks, who obviously was Texas Tech's all-time leading rusher. So I think that takes Texas Tech out of the picture as far as I'm concerned, because they needed a great running game, and they have a better offensive line this year. But still, with a season-ending injury to Joyner, I don't really trust that run game. This is a huge game for Kansas State because it could open up a path, even in week 1, when so much chaos could happen, where Arizona State might run away with this conference again. And that's where I'm looking. What's your outlook on Arizona State this season?
I think Arizona State comes into this season with, I think you can make an argument like it by the end of the year, it could be different, but experience wise, returning wise, the quarterback receiver duo of Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson, I put that as number one of our returning duos in the entire country. So they're going to go out there as long as those guys are healthy and be able to put up points. Now, come season's end, Julian Sane and Jeremiah Smith could top them. Drew Aller and whatever receiver for Penn State steps up could top them. Going into the season, I don't know if you can make an argument that there's a better 1-2 punch quarterback receiver duo. So they have a ton of experience there, a ton of playmaking, big playability. Kenny Dillingham has shown the ability to get these guys to believe in that program. But if you're making me make a play out of the Big 12, I'm actually going to Utah at plus 600. I'm big on them this year. You look at Kyle Whittingham's track record. He's never really had back-to-back down seasons. They go 5-7 last year. But let's not forget, they started out 4-0 before Cam Rising, eventually got hurt, as we all knew that would happen. But the program totally fell apart after that. This year, they bring in Devin Dampier from New Mexico. They bring his offensive coordinator from New Mexico with him. And they have a top 10 offensive line in the sport. They probably have a top 10 pick in Spencer Fano on that offensive line. They have one of, if not the best home field advantage in the entire Big 12. Going to have a really good defense as always. This is just a winning formula for the Utah football that we know and love out there every single season. So I think this is going to be a team that runs the ball 40, 45 times a game. They're going to only throw it when they have to. If Devin Dampier is able to stay healthy and they're able to keep him upright, which they should with that great offensive line, that's going to be a very dangerous squad. No one's going to Utah and winning. So you're making me make a Big 12 pick. I like Utah there at plus 600. But Arizona State for sure is going to have a fighter's chance with that quarterback receiver duo.
Ryan Coyle 35 on socials. You can hear him at Beef Up Front, and the folks over at Beef Up Front with Ryan over the summer, past summers too included, have been taking a picture on the beach with a can in their hand, enjoying a nice beverage, and then tweeting out a future.
Yeah, did you start that trend, Beef?
Beef Up Front did.
That was me.
Oh,
wow.
Beef. Ryan Beef Coyle did. How about that? I saw Aaron Torres took it to Fox.
I see that going mainstream.
Yeah, look at that. You got to love it. So did you have a favorite future that you put out while you were at the Jersey Shore, while you're at the beaches of Avalon with a tasty cold beverage in your hand?
I'll go to the Maction. I really love this Toledo team. They come in at 8.5. It's a team, I think, when you look at their schedule, 9 wins is a layup. As long as they don't have any major injuries, they'll definitely get to that 9-win mark. But I think it's a team that could win 10 or 11 games. And week 1, they play Kentucky. I think Kentucky is on outright upset alert in that one. So I really love Toledo. I think that was actually my last play I put out, was saving like the best for last. But Brace, I'm with you too on Georgia Tech. I've been telling people this week, if there's one team that comes out of nowhere this year, like in Arizona State from last season, where you look up and you're like, or Indiana, and you're like, wow, that team's in the playoffs. I really think that Georgia Tech team has a shot. That you look at the schedule, you look at the returning experience, the quarterback, the head coach. That's just a tough-minded team. Plus 1,200 to win the ACC championship. I don't have them winning it. I actually don't have them making it. I have them going 9-3. A couple tiebreakers, they fall short, but their win total 7.5. Things shake right. I think that team could win 9 to 10 games and be knocking on the door for the ACC title. So look at that team for sure over 7.5, but I think even bump that up to some alternates on the 8.5, maybe even 9.5 if you're feeling dangerous.
Yeah, I agree because of strictly on the schedule. I'm a fan of the coach, no doubt. What he's instilling down there and making those guys believe. Quarterback Haynes King has a pretty good thing going himself. Good run game, but bottom line is you look at the schedule, and I think there's a lot of winnable football games on that low number, as you pointed out. So we're buzzing this year with the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech. All right, Ryan Beef Coyle joining us here. Back to week 0. Again, trying to give the people a leg up on winning a game or two here. I'm curious, though, because Dan Mullen has taken over UNLV. Pretty good coach, right? But what are your expectations for this game coming out to shoot? I was reading some things about Las Vegas, about UNLV, how he wants to put them, at the forefront of all things that are happening in Vegas as far as sports are concerned. So with that being said, I kind of felt the vibe of like, you know what, man, I think he's going to come in game 1, kick the door in a big way. Everybody will be watching because there's only a few games to choose from. The spread is really, really big though. Right now on DraftKings Sportsbook, UNLV is a
25.5, I think.
26.5 now. Good grief. It continues to grow, continues to go north there. How many points or too many points, I guess, number one, and Dan Mullen at UNLV, your expectations year 1?
I think when you look at this UNLV team, well, first of all, they enter as the second ranked team in the Mountain West. So right behind Boise State, that would be our rematch of our championship last year. But in a spot like this, you have Dan Mullen, his first game. I think certainly he looks to go out there and make a splash like you touched on. But the big thing is, and I think early in the season too, even you can fast forward to week 1, these teams that have these quarterback battles, they're not going to take their foot off the gas in these matchups. They're going to go full-fledged the whole time. They're not going to look to run it out. They're not going to look to knee it out. They're going to get these quarterbacks out there, get them as much live action as they can, and then probably try to make a decision, by, in UNLV's sake, for their week 1 matchup, for other teams' sake, for their week 2 matchup, for their guy going forward. And UNLV is in this scenario where they have former Michigan quarterback Alex Orji. He's a runner. He's going to be kind of like Devin Dampier, as I talked about, a poor man's version. But he's a running quarterback. That's going to be a completely different offense than when they put in the Virginia transfer, Anthony Calandria, at the quarterback spot. So whoever's out there, though, these guys are vying for a job. Probably their last ever chance to be, a full-time FBS Division I starter. So these guys are going to be going out there playing for their lives. You have to look at UNLV to put up a lot of points in this one, I think. Foot won't be coming off the gas. I think once the team total comes out, that's something to look at as well. Anything north of 41, 42 points, I'm still comfortable taking in that regard. But I think UNLV puts it on them. Was listening to a couple podcasts this week regarding Idaho State, another team that's able to put up points over the past few years, but the defense has really struggled. They had to bring in a new defensive staff, brought in a bunch of new defensive players. So it's a team that's going to be ushering in a lot of new guys as well. I really like UNLV to win this one and win big. I think you take that number up to 27.5, 28, and you can still feel comfortable there.
All right. Beef, staying with week 0. How about, of course, a big-time transfer portal offseason, and that's how it's going to be in college football. I think Bill Belichick has 40 transfers that he's working with. That's incredible. And I heard Urban Meyer say, I have no idea how he's able to play, how he's able to make that happen, but it's Bill Belichick, year 1. We'll see how it plays out. Of course, TCU in that first game. With that being said, the week 0, give us some players that will have an impact, maybe some transfers, maybe some studs that are finally going to get their opportunity with the programs that they're at right now. But week 0 players, 1 or 2 guys that will be jumping off the page of this come Sunday.
Yeah, not a ton, just because of the magnitude of some of these teams. I don't really envision us talking much about Western Kentucky or Sam Houston State much of the rest of the season. But when you look at the Fresno State versus Kansas game, you get in E.J. Warner, the transfer quarterback, Kurt Warner's son. He comes from Rice. He comes from Temple. He'll be the Fresno State quarterback this year. And it's a guy that was under-recruited. They're all the way from out in Arizona. The only offer he gets coming out is Temple. He actually plays pretty well at Temple for 2 years, goes to Rice last year, now gets a chance to play in the Mountain West for a Fresno State team that's projected to finish 4th in the Mountain West Conference, which is one of the, if not the best Group of 5 conference. So an opportunity there for him to go and play a Kansas team that really struggled on the defensive end last year. It's not going to be one of the elite Big 12 defenses. So watch for E.J. Warner and to potentially go, shot for shot with Jalen Daniels in that game. That's really the only guy I think noteworthy kind of looking at the UNLV quarterback battle. That's something to watch for sure as well with Calandria and Orji kind of battling it out there for who's going to be that UNLV quarterback going forward.
All right, so let's keep it moving. And again, week 0 here on Saturday, a game that I know everybody's going to have some action on or be chasing, of course, is that Hawaii-Stanford game. And we had a flip of the script when it comes to the point spread. It's now 2.5 in favor of Hawaii. The fighting Timmy Changs out there, the Bows. They're 2.5-point favorites, but they were 2.5-point dogs. Why were they underdogs at home to Stanford? With Frank Reich filling in as the head coach, a lot of piecemealing it together here. Andrew Luck has even admitted that as he's running the program at this point in time. They're in a transformational period as far as in Stanford program history. I don't really look at Stanford being all that good. It's been a long time since Harbaugh was there. Although, who was the other coach that was pretty good there too as well? What's
David Shaw.
David Shaw had a pretty good run as well. Anyways, though, your thoughts on the line movement and then anything for you in that game at 7:30 on Saturday.
I'm rolling with Stanford in this one, actually. I think Sam hinted at that at the beginning, but you look at Stanford's schedule, there's a good chance that they're an underdog in every game going forward. Like this is, and you hate to say it, it's a depressing way to look at your season, but week 0, this is probably your best chance to get a win. And I think the coaching staff knows that. Andrew Luck probably knows that. There's got to be a lot of emphasis on this game. And you're giving me the opportunity to take still, at the end of the day, a Power 4 team against a Hawaii team that's projected, I think, to finish 7th or 8th in the Mountain West Conference, basically a middle of the tier to back tier Mountain West team. I'm going to take my chances there. The line could be telling us completely something different with Hawaii being the favorite in this matchup, but you're giving me a Power 4 team against a G5 team. And also the travel thing, I don't really buy into that much because it's week 0. They've been home. Like, they just have to, and they're flying from California over to Hawaii. It's not like they're going from, last year was Delaware State,
yes,
all the way across the country to Hawaii. They missed their flight. That was a pretty crazy scenario.
A snafu, they said. It was a snafu. They
Yeah.
used the word snafu, and they didn't cover the number either.
Yeah, there'll be no snafu this year with Deshaun running the show over there. I'm sure that's going to be a smooth operation every week. But I'm gonna go with Stanford to win on the road there. Give me them as my dog this week, barking outright.
Wow, and our good friend Colby Marcio checking in. He's with me. Hawaii money line locked in, and
I love Stanford here.
Wow.
Love it.
We're fighting. What do you see?
I don't. It's two things. I don't think this Hawaii team is that good. I mean, there's offensive line questions. They lost their 2 shutdown cornerbacks last season. There's going to be some problems at cornerback for Hawaii. And then the other part of it is that I'm kind of buying into this Stanford operation with Andrew Luck, one of the smartest football minds that has existed in the last generation, whether he's playing quarterback or in a front office role. That's just a culture builder. And I love Frank Reich as a coach. I really liked him as a coach with the Eagles. I liked him with the Colts. I think Frank Reich is a good coach. And an interesting setup they have where no matter what happens after this season, great season, awful season, he's out of here. That was the deal he made with Andrew Luck. It's a 1-season thing as the interim head coach. I think it's a decent culture they're building up. And sometimes you can just get a few culture wins. Like if you just have a great culture over another program and guys are bought in, which I believe guys on this team are with a ton of transfers, you can just if guys are bought in, you can get a couple culture wins. And I think this is one of those games in the first week or their first game against a team in Hawaii that I don't think is very good. So I like Stanford outright.
Yeah, Frank Reich was great as a coach in the pros with Carolina and Indy. That's right. Yeah.
He was good in Indy, underrated in Indy. Didn't work out in Carolina
until they went 2-14 and he got fired.
He's Carson Wentz as his quarterback.
Carson Wentz was on pace to be the MVP with the Eagles.
That was a little different situation.
Good. We'll see. Again, it's one of those games that's very intriguing with the line movement, number 1. But number 2, it's the Hawaii, the Rainbows, with Timmy Chang as the head coach. I love that story there. It's definitely a game that we will have action on. Looking forward to it. Week 0 here. As we're putting the bow on week 0, anything else that's catching your attention you'd like to share with the listening audience right now, Beef?
Heard something this morning for this Western Kentucky and Sam Houston game. Just a note on the college football world in general. Sam Houston is missing their top 19 tacklers from last year's team. Western Kentucky, their top 13. So this is a team. Both teams are ushering in a lot of new faces on the defensive side. Both teams are air raid offenses. 60.5 is a high number, but I do think this is going to be a game that goes over. I got Western Kentucky 38-35. Air raid versus air raid. That's a fun little 7:00 game. If you're out, drinking for these afternoon games, that'll be a fun one to get all your buddies to ride the over with. So Western Kentucky, Sam Houston over 60.5 as well.
Not the Conference USA that I came up on, not at all. But it is what it is. Sam Houston State, Western Kentucky coming your way, 61.5 now, as far as the total is concerned. There. All right, let's go ahead real quick if we can, because obviously the big slate of games from Thursday to Monday in week 1, which is the following weekend on August the 28th, we got some big time games, and none of them are bigger than Texas and Ohio State. A lot of quarterbacks have been named in the last few days as far as starters are concerned. Julian Sayin is the starting quarterback for Ohio State. What are you saying about the starting quarterback for the Buckeyes here in this matchup now that we know he is the guy? I think we've all been pretty sure that he was going to be the quarterback, but he has a really good arsenal of talent at the wide receiver position, of course. I think it comes down to the run game. If I can make it simple, I don't think that any of these coaches are going to go out there and run and shoot with their starting quarterbacks, whether it's Sayin or Arch. I think that this game is going to be, I know it's, teetering that way as far as the total is concerned. A lot more people are starting to believe defense. I'm not one of those guys to put a cap on it and put my money on a total in this play, but I do think cooler heads are going to prevail as far as coaching are concerned, and they're going to go in it and try to get the run game going. And if Ohio State can do that, I do believe that they are going to come out on top. What are you thinking about the starting quarterback, and how do you think this game will be played out on Saturday?
Yeah, Julian saying certainly is going to be one of the names to watch, because I think he simply is on like point guard duty this year. I think, all things considered, if he has a good, successful year this year, next year's the year where they kind of let him loose and unleash him a bit. But this is a year where we got Jeremiah Smith, we got Carnell Tate, we got weapons galore, we got 5 stars waiting in the wings. Just get these guys the ball. We're going to set you up. We're going to put you in good situations. Just don't turn it over. Don't make mistakes. Don't try to play hero ball. I think he's going to be just all right. It might take a little bit of time. I would advise fans not to panic if the Texas defense gets after him in the early goings, and call for him to be benched as soon as the second week and put in Lincoln Keenholz. But that's the world of college football, and I can certainly see it. But I would definitely err on the side of patience and caution in this situation with him. He's a former 5-star recruit, originally committed to Alabama, but he decommitted from there once Saban left. So he's at Ohio State now. Lincoln Keenholz should see some time, though. It sounds like he's a much better athlete and probably have some design runs. So as you were saying with the run game, they could look to incorporate him in there. Definitely like the under in that one, just with the amount of talent on both sides of the defenses, no matter how talented these quarterbacks are. It's their first start in a major game. Arch had a cup of coffee against a couple bum teams last year, but we could definitely see both these teams kind of start out slow. Would it surprise me if they go out and come the second half, light it up a little bit? No, but I do definitely like the defenses in this one, and I would probably lean under. But I think by year's end, Julian saying, as long as Ohio State's winning games, is probably going to be in the Heisman conversation just because of how good his numbers are due to the receivers around him. But one thing to monitor too, Brian Hartline, his first year calling the plays. Let's see what he brings to the table versus what Chip Kelly was able to do last year.
Yeah, and I heard a take on the Texas way of going up against Ohio State and what they were able to do against Jeremiah Smith. And, look, there's no surprise there. They had 2 guys following him all over the place. You know what the cliche is. If he goes to go to the bathroom, you're going to wipe his butt, and that's what happens, right? But that's what my point is. It's going to open up other opportunities. So if the run game is there for Ohio State, I think that's going to be pretty effective, and they're going to have some success there, and hopefully come out on top, because I'll be backing the Buckeyes in that one. All right, one more for week 1. I know we got a long way to go. I get it. Week 0, we just had the games. Because quarterbacks are named, this is intriguing to me. And this is a team that, of course, went on a run last year after losing to Northern Iowa and run the table from that point on all the way to the national championship game, come up short. They just announced their starting quarterback, CJ Carr. Were you surprised that he was the kid that was named as the starting quarterback, 1? And number 2, your thoughts on Notre Dame now that we know he is the starting quarterback?
Yeah, that was another guy that it was assumed all along he would be the player. The one kind of thing that bugs me about these quarterback competitions is, like, sure, it's good to have to make these guys go earn it, go compete, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's always the guy who is the more talented player. He's going to get the first crack at it. He's going to get the first chance. CJ Card, Lloyd Card's grandson, actually, I believe. So some football history, some football blood there. But he's more of a pure guy that can sling the rock. You look at the offense that they had last year with Riley Leonard, obviously a lot of design runs. This is a much more talented pocket passer, pure passer of the football. Minchie, it sounded like, gave him a real kind of push, but it was always kind of Carr's job to lose. Big test versus Miami week 1. Miami comes in ranked pretty high, I think number 9 in the top 10. So a tough test. I'm very down on that Miami team. I think Carr has the ability to kind of go out there and light him up. But once again, it's a young quarterback. We don't know what to expect. You can project all you want. You can look at what's around him. You can look at his high school film. You can look at how many stars are next to his name. But he still has to go out there on the field and perform. So a lot of pressure on that kid. It's a Notre Dame team that has expectations of going back to the playoff. Win total sitting at 10.5, same as Oregon, same as Penn State, same as Ohio State. So a lot of these young quarterbacks got some pressure on them to deliver at least 11 wins this year, it looks like. But CJ Carr should have been the guy, is the guy, and Notre Dame now might have a guy going forward for the next 2 to 3 years, where over the past couple of years they've been rotating in guys from the transfer portal, whether it was Sam Hartman, whether it was Riley Leonard. So CJ Carr is going to be definitely a household name, I think, by the end of the season in the sport.
Can we talk about one more game from week 1?
Oh, sure.
LSU Clemson. I feel like a fool, but I'm starting to buy in on this LSU team.
Oh,
And I'm starting to buy in on them in week 1 against Clemson as 3.5-point dogs. I like Garrett Nussmeier a lot. I mean, the turnovers, those interceptions, and those couple losses last year were really bad. He has to limit the turnovers, but he has playmakers on the outside. It's the #1 transfer class in the entire country that they brought in. And do you guys know the last time that LSU has won an opening game?
It's been like 6 years.
2019 since Joe Burrow was
How about
there.
that? There you go.
5 straight losses in their opener. They got to win one eventually. I like this LSU team. I mean, they have a tough schedule, and like they're plus 110 to make the college football playoff. I could see them being in the mix right there. Of course, tough SEC schedule, but they do avoid Georgia and Texas. I think this LSU team can win week 1, and that'll set the tone for the season. Where are you guys at with LSU Clemson?
Well, I just want to point this out. I don't think Brian Kelly got enough credit for when he slammed the table last year. That came off as very like, like, come on, man. You kind of
corny,
corny, exactly. No, man, that was good because I caught it on the SEC the Netflix series about the SEC, and I was like, man, all right, that looked like it had a little more juice than I gave him credit for. I'm a Brian Kelly guy. I'm also high on Clemson.
You might be the only one.
I look, I've believed in him for a long time now, and he's proven his worth. Now, not so much at LSU, don't get me wrong. And the 3 previous coaches have won national championships before him, I believe. With that being said, it's on to the next year. They were disappointing last year, no doubt about it. I think they'll have a little bit better of a defense. Offense is still going to be good. They got a lot of returning players, plus that chip on his shoulder. It's just so tough, man. You look at that schedule. It is so tough. But to your point about week 1, I like LSU in week 1, and I like Clemson to make the college football playoff and win the ACC.
I like both those too. You're probably better off getting that Clemson CFB bet after week 1 if you think LSU is going to win, because I like that.
It's a good call. Beef?
Yeah, I'm on LSU. I'm on LSU to make the playoff at 10-2. I really like that plus 110 bet. Their 2 toughest games on the road at Clemson, as we're talking about now, and at Alabama. The rest of their toughest games are in Baton Rouge, one of the toughest places. If this team goes 10-2 with that schedule, they're definitely making the playoff. So I like them there at that plus 110 to make it. It's just one of those scenarios for week 1. It's like, I'm not going to bet on that until you prove me otherwise. Like there's something there. It might be a mental thing. It might be what they do in camp type thing. But let me see them actually go out there and win one of these big games at the beginning of the season. LSU, speaking of, but before I actually put my money there and actually bet on them. I like Clemson to win this game. Having the home field advantage, I think, is huge too. But I think LSU still, at the end of the day, has a really good year. I actually have between Lenora Sellers and Garrett Nussmeier. Those are my 2 picks for the Heisman Trophy. I like Clemson to win the ACC. I like them to win this game and get their season started off on the right foot.
All right. So we do have some breaking news from the SEC. The SEC is implementing a 9-game conference football schedule beginning in 2026, reinforcing the SEC's position as the nation's leader in competitive excellence and fan excitement. Of course, the SEC conference tweeted that out. I didn't just make that one up. That's understood. I think we are going to see, and there was a change as far as with the strength of schedule for the playoff committee to be looking at this year, which is like, hey man, like great that you guys made the change, but geez, it's August 20th and they're making changes now. It blew my mind, but I guess nothing should be surprised when it comes to college football, college sports in general. But we are getting closer though to what we know is going to come, right? And I think this is on agreement here. They're going to go to 24 teams. They're going full FCS.
Oh, it's awful.
They are 100% going to have. You say awful.
No. That's really like the 4 to 12, fine. 12 to 16, which was apparently the next step, fine.
Just go to 24.
24 is awful. They're going to be really bad teams.
It's more football.
They're going. It's what's the point of a playoff anymore? It's not even an accomplishment to make the playoff anymore. Of course I'll watch. That doesn't mean it's good. It's like there's a lot of things I'll watch that aren't good.
You're right. Let me say this much, and Beef will bring you on this one, because I am anti SEC gets 5 spots or 4 spots. Big Ten gets 4 spots. I'm anti automatic bids. I think the champion should get an automatic bid, and that's it.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with you, not strongly, but I believe that the Big Ten and the SEC are such dominant conferences
so
now
you're
with their
fine
expansion.
With 16.
Not that many. I'm fine with there needs to be a minimum of 3 Big Ten, 3 SEC in there, because those teams deserve it because of the conference they're playing in over some of these lower level teams.
I think if we're going to go to 24, that's the only way I'm signing off on the automatic qualifier.
But you also saw it last year in the playoff. Like, you want the best teams in the playoff. And yeah, you don't want teams who have great seasons like a Boise State last year missing out on those opportunities. But you also saw what happens when they're playing the big boys in the playoff. And you see what happens when Arizona State plays.
One season sample size. I'm not going to go ahead and say that it's...
But I think that would be the norm. I think it would be the norm.
You're probably right. But we're still watching. And more football, look, we just played the longest season in college football history last year. We know it's coming. They're chasing the dollar. They need to get some uniformity where everybody's playing the same amount of games. The strength of schedule is what the strength of schedule is. Like, we need to get to that point to make sense of this. I still think there's a lot of round peg, square hole type deal happening right now. I don't know. I will see what happens. Beef, your thoughts?
My thoughts are we have 5 games on Saturday. We have a million games next weekend. Let's pick up this conversation in 2026. We got 12 teams in the playoff this year. I'm ready to go.
The boys of fall, baby. You got to love it. We're here. We have made it.
My Lord.
And that's the way you put an end on that conversation. Nice work by you on that one, Beef. All right. Anyways, what do you got? What's good? We're coming up next. We got Football is King with Ryan Beef Coyle. So a double dip of beef and with Nick McClay. What do you guys hit on this episode, sir?
So we went through all our conference preview predictions. We went through the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC. We gave our national champion pick. We gave our Heisman Trophy winner, all of them with our DraftKings friends odds. And then we went through and hit on week 0. We did a deep dive on Iowa State, Kansas State. McClay gave his Iowa State propaganda out there, and just hit on some of the notes and nuggets to know for those other 4 games. But unfortunately, that UNLV Idaho State game isn't on the TV. It's on Mountain West Network, so might be tracking that one from your DraftKings app. But yeah, we hit on them all, gave some notes and nuggets on all of them. And just looking forward to actually seeing the helmets out there live.
Quick tease, who's winning the Big 10? Did we lose you?
I don't know, man. You never know what's happening at Actor House. That's the issue over there. It's like one day that the internet works, the next day it's Meat Fest, next day McClay's alarm isn't going on. Hey, yo. Beef, are you with us or did we lose you?
I asked him about the Big 10.
I can hear you now. I might have lost it.
Yeah, the Big 10.
I asked you about the Big 10. Who you got winning the Big 10?
Lord.
Yep, I lost you again.
Every time I was stuck in the Big 10 smoke.
We'll see.
You got a winner for the Big 10. Who's winning the conference?
Get out of here.
Goodbye.
Good grief.
He might have been doing one of those bits.
Who knows?
He just didn't want to give his
I'm
Big
telling
10
you,
pick.
man, he does a show from the dungeon. He's like, this is where I get the best. I'm like, can you get a green screen?
I've seen it.
Can we get a cardboard cutout? Like cobwebs.
Basement, it looks like
cobwebs hanging out. I mean, come on. All right. I do want to put this out here because this is very unfortunate. And I don't know what's true and what's not, but unfortunately on the timeline. And look, this is reported by CBS Philadelphia as well, which is very unfortunate. Let me just pull it up so I'm not reading anything out of the wrong here. But at Villanova's main campus, an alert was sent out for an active shooter. And this was reported by CBS Philadelphia right now. Radnor police came out with an alert as well. So I'm seeing some things at the timeline again that say like, hey, not as exactly what's being put out there, but at the same time, it is real, just so everybody knows this. And it's an unfortunate period end of story. But today was I believe yesterday was the move-in day for Villanova freshmen. Today is the university first-year student mass, and there's a video with chairs on the ground. We know how things work. You hear something, next thing you know, everybody's running. No one wants to take a chance on that. So maybe that could have been it. Who knows? But that was
one of my group chats with a buddy of mine who's a coach at Villanova is blowing up. I wasn't reading it during the show, but now I'm going back and reading, and it's all about that. He says barricading an office.
Yeah.
right now they're all barricaded in.
Radnor Township Police
Hopefully
Department
staying
are
safe.
on location at Villanova University for a report of active shooter. All nearby residents and students are asked to shelter in place at this time. All further information will come from the Office of the Superintendent of Police, number 308. That was from Radnor PD. Again, that was 20 minutes ago. I think things have calmed down a little bit from what I'm seeing on the timeline, which is a good thing. Again, if you are listening, going up the way, please don't. That's number one. But man, our thoughts are with everybody right now, because that has got to be scary no matter what. Man, what a sour way to end the show, because this show is great.
Seriously.
Very good, fun show today. Always great to get you in studio. Sam, of course, thank you to all of our guests. Natalie joining us in studio, doing great work with the SPCA. Her and Taryn Hatcher today. Beef giving us the breakdown college football. And then Julian EDLOW from DraftKings Sportsbook as well. A lot of people checking in. Shout out to Colby, cousin Nikki, as always. You guys are the best. Can't thank you enough. Back tomorrow, Saturday, recording in the morning with Beef. We are going to go live early, and we will give you a breakdown on all things week 0, a little bit more. Of course, we'll mix in some other talking points, but it's all week 0. We're going to focus on some other plays that are out there that will be available for us on game day. As he pointed out, team totals will be available, so on and so forth. So we're looking forward to that. And it's the college football roundup show, man. Beef and I are going live Saturday nights. It's going to be a little bit of a mix and match because of Villanova football. And point blank, Villanova opening up on September 6th at 6 p.m., so we're going to go before, but the idea was to do a little bit more of a wrap-up show, a little bit into the evening, starting at 6, 7 p.m., and wrap things up. But we're full throttle, man. I could promise you this. Football season is when we hit the gas pedal here collectively as a station, and everybody is ready to go. So all weekend long, this will be your destination if you want to get up on the action that is happening, whether it's college football or NFL. I know a lot of these stations want to pretend like they got some, experts. We do it all. We do fantasy, we do props, we do spreads, we do totals. We do it right. All right. So it starts and ends with us here on The Gambler. And oh, by the way, we're the home of Villanova football. So I think that's pretty cool as well. Pre-game show, talking college football into Villanova football. Should be a pretty good season for those guys as well. Sam, final thoughts? Anything you're cooking up right now at the Score?
A lot of football stuff.
Yeah.
It's football season. A lot of football stuff.
The NFL draft is just date.
College
That's an old
football.
one.
Big college football year out of me. You're gonna see.
My Lord.
Big college football season.
Yep, and NFL, of course, too. Always, but a lot of college football cooking as well.
Yeah. Week 0 plays for you. You're just going Stanford.
Stanford's all I got right now. I might have a play in Western Kentucky by the time Saturday rolls around, but Stanford's all I got right now. Week 1 will be a massive card. We'll lay it all out.
Did you see what Joker texted Michael Porter Jr. when he went to Brooklyn?
I did see it.
Make sure you wrap it up.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. He's on a generational podcast run. He's one of the least serious people I've ever seen as a professional athlete. But obviously that was a thing out in Denver too. But the talent probably isn't as good in Denver. Actually, I can confirm the talent isn't as good in Denver as it is out in New York City. So Michael Porter Jr. will have some fun chucking up shots, averaging 20 to 25 a game on an awful team. It's probably a better situation for his personality than playing on a contender.
I would say this. There was one time that I was saying, like, this is the guy that I would love the Sixers to end up with. But then he had the back injuries.
The back is why he fell.
Correct.
But there was probably some other red flags with the personality that people found when they did their scout.
And then the whole brother situation, too.
Well, that was way later.
That's true,
Yeah,
but,
that was recent. Hey,
but
everyone has their vices.
You're right. But I would say it was like, even then on draft day, I'm like, this guy is there. And now all of a sudden the Sixers like, now we're good on the projects. Like, this guy was a stud.
Yeah.
He could have very well been number 1 overall.
He was a stud in high school. He was number 1 prospect.
Well, he had his moments in college.
Yeah, he did.
He was a beast.
He did, but I think you do your homework.
Yeah.
And there's stay away red flags for a lot of reasons. And
who's the number 1 pick in college basketball this year?
AJ. I can't pronounce his name, from BYU though.
Oh, that kid.
AJ Dioske or something. When the season comes around, I'll be able to pronounce his name. But from BYU, he'll be the top prospect.
How about big Swagoose kid being number 1? Did you see that?
I didn't realize that was his son.
That kid's a star.
Yeah, I didn't I guess I never put it together that was his son, but that's pretty cool for Marcus Spears.
It's amazing when you see these kids who are in sophomores and 11th grade juniors, and what they're doing on a basketball floor.
Yeah.
Like what his kid is doing look like he's 23 years old out there.
Yeah.
And that's why he's the number 1 ranked kid for 2028 or 29, whatever it is. All right. We opened up talking NBA. We end talking college basketball. That's why Sam Oshtry is in studio. Coming up next, football is king. You're going to hear Nick McClay and more Ryan Beef Coyle talking all things college football and then some. I'll be back tomorrow. Tonight, we're recording our final summer school edition, summer class on all things college football. Myself, Beef, Tansy, and Mark Henry Jr. You'll catch that tomorrow on the air. And a brand new X's into You podcast with Sebastian Letou, Adam Booth, and Maddie G coming your way. X's into You, big time Philadelphia Union podcast. And of course, the Union continue to win. I know they just lost the last time out, but still, real good season, and it rolls on. So don't touch that dial. Keep it locked right here to the Gambler. More after this.
We don't just watch college football, we live it. How did he stay on balance there? Look at him go! Scatterboo! Join us for the